Steve, I just love watching that telescope of yours slew across. It's just wonderful.
Thank you very much. It was, there's a story behind it that I'll have to tell you one day.
Yeah.
Not what Scott's on the call though. You notice anything missing here?
Hey, everyone.
Hi, Dave.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Scott Roberts here with Explore Scientific, and welcome to Virtual Star Party 3. I'm joined here with astronomers from the northern to the southern hemisphere and from the Americas to Europe. And so it's kind of a worldwide star party. We've got some great astronomers here. I'll bring them all on so you can see what's going on. So we have Rodrigo Zaleda from Chile, North Optics. David Levy from Vail, Arizona. Needs no further introduction. Steve Malia from Ontario Telescopes. Jerry Hubbell, of course, from Explore Scientific. Gary Palmer from the UK, mentor to many. The Astro Beard, Richard Grace, from Annapolis, Maryland. Cesar Brolo from Argentina at Optica Sirocco. Yeah. David Ng, astronomer in Temecula, California, and Tyler Bowman here at Explore Scientific as well. And we may have other people joining us as we go along. We are, of course, waiting for Dustin Gibson from OPT. I do want to take a moment to thank Dustin Gibson and OPT and the Clear Skies Network for letting us broadcast on their channel this evening. It's really great. And anyways, I think it would be nice to get started with Dr. David Levy, lover of skies, lover of the written word, a man who's written many words, many books, and it's always awesome to have him. So here we go.
Scotty, thank you so much, and welcome to the third virtual star party. I'm going to begin and end with quotations tonight. And here's the opening one. Our fondness for the stars has touched our souls. We all share the feeling of discovery, whether the object we have found is new to all or new only to us. The thrill penetrates our being as we try to describe through drawings, photographs, or words how we have been changed by a universe sharing a secret with us. Wonderful.
David, who wrote that?
Oh, Scotty, they threw away the mold after they made people like that. You don't get anybody writing like that anymore.
No.
Why are you laughing, Scotty? Let me see if I can find.
Who could have written such incredible words?
This is embarrassing. This is from a book I wrote called Guide to the Night Sky.
Oh,
and I
wow.
actually wrote these words with the commas and everything. So I take back everything I say. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to our star party tonight. It's wonderful to share with you a little bit of the night sky. I was out last night, the entire night, using two telescopes that I have. One of them is called Eureka, and it's an Explore Scientific telescope that I've had for over almost a year now. And the other one was Miranda. It's a 16-inch f5 telescope that I've discovered most of my visual comets with. And with those two telescopes last night, I did over 3 hours of searching for comets. I don't ever expect to discover a comet again, but it's fun to search. Tonight, I'm going to talk with you a little bit about an observing session I had right around this time, September the 1st, 1960. Those of you who have seen Jupiter and Saturn looking very close together in the night sky, it's kind of interesting because that's where Jupiter and Saturn were in 1960. They get close together like that every 12 years. It is called a great conjunction. It is one that Shakespeare wrote about a long, long time ago. And it is one that set me with my very first telescope to look up at the night sky. Mom and Dad were with me. And I remember as we were looking through the telescope, I had a thought. And the thought went something like this: Daddy, come look at the evening sky to the edge of tomorrow's dawn. And he looked through the telescope and he saw Jupiter, that amazing, wonderful planet with 4 moons and clouds going across it. Galileo himself could have felt no greater thrill than we did that night in our rediscovery of Jupiter and its moons. Little did I know that night that 33 years later I would be involved in a very important comet discovery, a comet that in 1993 was discovered and a year later collided with Jupiter in one of the most spectacular explosions ever witnessed by humanity in our solar system. And it was, the collision of the comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 might have been the highlight of my professional career. But it really brought me back to why I do this, why I spend all night looking up at the night sky, watching the Perseid meteors, searching for comets, doing all these other things that I really enjoy doing. And the night as Shoemaker-Levy 9 collided with Jupiter during that wonderful week during the summer of 1994, it brought me back to my father, long gone now and then, who I was able to ask, "Daddy, come look at the evening sky." And as I'm sure that if he were here right now, he would say, "That wasn't a collision we saw. That was a sailing ship taking a voyage through the cosmic sea. And it didn't collide with Jupiter. It came home to Jupiter." And about a year later, a very famous pianist, Ken Miedema, wrote a little song about our comet, about its collision with Jupiter, and about my asking Dad to come out and look at the evening sky. Scotty, let's hear that song now.
Okay, let's do that.
Oh, Daddy, come look, the evening sky, the edge of tomorrow's dawn. It's 4 billion years old, it's a mighty ship, it goes sailing on and on. Daddy, come look at the evening sky, for the wonders yet to come. And we'll follow the course of the great sailing ship till the ship comes sailing home. Daddy, come look in the evening sky at the edge of tomorrow's dawn. It's 4 billion years old, it's a mighty ship, and it goes sailing on and on. Daddy, come look at the evening sky, for the wonders yet to come. And we'll follow the course of that great sailing ship till the ship comes sailing.
You know, I think about that song and that year. It might have been the highlight of my professional life, but it just brought me back to what I love to do, searching for comets. I close with a quote that I've always enjoyed from Leslie Peltier. "Time has not lessened the age-old allure of the comets. In some ways, their mystery has only deepened with the years. At each return, a comet brings with it the questions which were asked when it was here before. And as it rounds the sun and backs away toward the long, slow night of its aphelion, it leaves behind with us those questions still unanswered. To hunt a speck of moving haze may seem a strange pursuit. But even though we fail, the search is still rewarding. For no better way can we come face to face, night after night, with such a wealth of riches as old Croesus never dreamed of." Thank you all very much.
All right. Thank you very much, David. That was awesome. That was awesome. Beautiful word. Beautiful words. Okay, everyone. We are at Virtual Star Party 3, and we promise door prizes. And so one of the door prizes, the grand door prize for tonight, and I'm going to pick another door prize here in a few minutes, but this door prize is the Explore Scientific AR102 dual speed focuser, 4 inches of aperture, f6.5 diffraction limited optics. And wherever you are in the world, we're going to ship this to you. So if you're the winner. And so the way that's going to work is Jerry Hubbell is going to present the question. And he told me he's not going to make it easy. So
yeah, I'm
so that's the reason why I kind of want to get you guys prepared in advance. Okay. So here we go. I guess Dustin Gibson's coming on with us right now.
I actually don't have a question.
How are you doing?
Yet.
You have your question ready, Jerry?
Not quite. And give me about 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes. All right, that's great.
What's going on, Dustin?
Yeah.
Hey, how we doing, everybody? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
right.
All right, perfect. Yeah, if my audio starts breaking up, let me know. I've had some trouble with the box here, but if there weren't IT issues, it wouldn't be fun.
That's true. That's true. It was a little bit of a scramble for me to learn how to work with the Clear Skies network, getting the stream going and getting our simulcast going and all the rest of it. So it's been really great to have you coach us through that with your team, Dustin. So we really appreciate it.
I'm not sure how much coaching I did, but hey, man, you're welcome.
You made it happen.
Yeah,
So
I just gave you the right contact information. Look at this group. This group is insane. Look at this. Look at this. What you organized, man. Did you do this all in one day? This is nuts.
Not one day, but we do have some great people. I don't know if you know Rodrigo Zaleda. He's from North Optics in La Serena, Chile. So the next time you get down in that part of the world, Dustin, you're going to have to go visit Rodrigo. He'll take you to some of the darkest skies in the world.
Great to meet you, Rodrigo.
Right.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Right. Mr. David Levy, who just gave a great talk and shared his video and his poetry is so awesome.
And needs no introduction.
Right.
Anywhere
Stephen
in the
Molly
world, I'm
is
sure, at this point.
Telescopes. Stephen is, one of the top dealers up in Canada, maybe
Excellent.
the top dealer. And
Our friends to the north. How you doing,
right.
Steve?
Yeah, the
Good,
great.
Dustin, how are you?
Good. Thanks for being on here. Thank all of you for being on here. This is awesome. Wow. I realized, Scott and I, he's one of my favorite people in the world. I give him a hard time all the time. Scott's one of my favorite people in the world. We share similar philosophies on pretty much everything, giveaways being a big part of that. But I get a text from Scott says, "Hey, we're live." Like, "Hey man, where are you?"
Where are you?
How many times did I tell this guy, "Hey, I'll be there at 8. I'll be there at 8." But then I remember he chose Arkansas. He chose Arkansas to live in. So it's already past 8 there. And I'm thinking, come on, man.
Hey,
I
you
know,
don't
I
need to
was
be
like-
knocking Arkansas, Dustin.
You ran OPT before we did. What are you doing? We work on Pacific time. That's all right.
That's
All
true.
right.
That's true. I just get a little screwed up sometimes, but
Yeah. Where are you, Dustin? Oh, man. Okay, I'll jump in then.
sorry, dude. Sorry.
No, it was perfect. It's perfect. This is way more fun than the meetings I've been doing. So
Right.
This is perfect.
Right. So we should probably get started with our friends down under here, and let's meet with Rodrigo Zaleda. And Rodrigo, what do you got to share with us today?
Yes, well, tonight is cloudy in La Serena, but is very common in winter. But I share you a picture for the object of the soul for my backyard, and when the Explore Scientific Telescope and GSO telescope.
There we go.
You see my picture, yes?
Yes. Yes, we see your beautiful daughter.
Yes, my daughter is with me every night with the telescope. Is my personal assistant. This is my telescope for astrophotography.
Oh, So that's a Guangsheng. Was that an 8-inch RC?
Yes, my secretary.
Very nice. Very nice.
And Explore Scientific Apple.
Yes.
In the PMSA with control with ASCON's software and job promote SEM60 SE, my new one for a large telescope. And my pictures for the soul.
Wow.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Corina.
Oh.
It's too good. It's too good. It hurts to look at a little bit.
For my backyard in La Serena, the bottle sky about 4 bottle, and this photo is for Explore Scientific Telescope, and I'm using the dual narrow band filter for a more detail for the oxygen and hydrogen in the nebula.
Beautiful shot.
Yes, this photo is from reflex camera, DSLR. Is 1 hour of exposition.
Dustin,
1 hour. 1 hour, man. I need to quit.
Man, you shot it with a DSLR. That's what's crazy.
I know. I know. As soon as he pulled up these specs, I was like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed of my work.
This nebula is very bright, and it's big nebula for the southern hemispheres, and it's the favorite. And
this is a 4-inch refractor too. Incredible.
Yeah.
Yes, it's for refractor Apo FSD100. This is another object, the Liberty, la Estatua de la Libertad. This object is
Estatua de la Libertad.
yes.
Beautiful.
In the center, this picture, the geometry is similar for the Estatua de la Libertad.
I see.
The
Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty, right?
Yes.
Central Liberty. Yeah.
It's near for the Etakarim in the south. It's a little object. It's the shot 60 minutos de exposición with dual narrow band filter.
Excellent work.
This photo is new photo for the Trifid Nebula with Richard Cretier. With my new camera QHI is
QHY 294C.
Yes, it's my new camera.
Yeah, it's a great camera.
minutes for light. Is nice photo.
Nice photo. Beautiful.
That is a good one.
Beautiful
Very
photo.
nice.
And with a good visual telescope, you can see some of those colors visually too.
Yes, the the Richard Cretier is very good telescope for observation and photography. I like it. This is an old picture for Mars with the globular cluster Omega Centauri in the south. It's in wonderful.
Oh, the big, the
It's
big
crazy.
globular. Oh yeah.
Somebody here is saying that interesting, the Pentax was sharper. And what's really interesting about it, we sell the Guansheng optics under a brand we've named TPO, but it's not that the Pentax was sharper. The QHY camera that you have is actually a better camera for astronomy, much, much better. What is sharper is the FCD 100 optics. Honestly, coming out just straight out of the box, they're going to be in perfect collimation. And I don't say that lightly, because I really think that RCs are some of the best telescopes ever made. I do. It's one of the best optical designs ever made. But the problem with them is that collimation is so unbelievably critical that and so challenging, because it doesn't have the spherical secondary, that if it's off at all, it will get, it will not be able to maximize its sharpness. And so everything comes into play at those focal lengths too, like image scale, pixel size, all of it. But those FCD 100 telescopes, the 4-inch refractive, really all FCD scopes that you guys make. And I'm not just saying this because Scott's a friend, but I really think as far as value goes, you can see in those images just how sharp that is. That's with a DSLR. So you start throwing, astronomy dedicated cameras like, the 16070, the 16803, or anything astronomy dedicated with big pixels. It's unreal how sharp that glass is. So kudos Scott and team, because these images are incredible.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Richard Cretier, the collimation is very critical. Yes. A little turn the screen, and it's very complicated. It's very.
All right, Rodrigo, let's share one more image, and then we're going to switch astronomers and see what everyone else is doing. Okay. So let's.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, I've got that question if you want to.
All right.
Do something with it.
We'll come back to this image here in a moment. So what's going to be the question here? Let's put the spotlight.
Right. So what's the telescope? Because it's related to that telescope. I want to make sure I get the right one.
Oh yeah. Okay. So it is the. It's an AR-102 Explore Scientific f6.5 Achromat.
102. Okay. So this question is going to be related to the image circle, which we have calculation. We have a web page on our website that talks about the image circles and the full-in unvignetted image circle on our FCD on our 8 APOs. So I'm going to refer to the 102 APO FCD 100. All right. And the question is, on the 102 FCD 100, what is the unvignetted image circle size in millimeters? This is on our website.
Image circle size in millimeters of the Explore Scientific AR-102.
No, of the 102 FCD 100. Right? We don't have image circle calculations for the AR.
No.
102 FCD 100. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So, all right. Yeah. You're going to email your answers into Kent. Here, I'm going to give
Kent.
I forgot about that. I forgot we were going to email those.
At Explore Scientific.
Everybody's posting comments.
Yeah, they are. .com. And the first one to get the answer right and send it over to Kent is the winner, Kent at explorescientific.com.
That is a really challenging question too. The unvignetted. Wow.
Well, it's on our
We're getting
website.
into like late grad school. Oh, okay. I thought you were making people calculate.
No,
based on the
They're
optical
not
design.
calculating. You're looking for it on our website.
All right.
Man.
Okay. So who's got some images coming through a telescope? Are you still imaging, Richard? And you're muted. There
Yes,
we go.
I am.
Yep.
Yes, I am. I can share what I've got at the moment.
Okay. All right. Let's check it out.
Sharing a screen.
Beard is glorious.
Yeah, I need a beard like that when I grow up.
All right. So right now I'm
My
working.
beard only comes out one side of my face, so it's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
I think that's the wrong screen I'm sharing. Sorry.
Rick Marshall's in the waiting room.
Let's see.
He's got Jupiter Live.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll switch to Rick next here.
Okay. Okay. So this is the right screen.
Okay. Yeah, we can see an exposure counting down now.
Yep. And I have a little wispiness coming through right here.
Oh, yeah. You can
Just
barely
a
see it, but you
little
do. Yeah.
And that is the Western Vail NGC 6960. So there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that's going to stretch out up here, and this is going to look really awesome. So I am extremely looking forward to that. And do you want me to share an image from last night?
Yeah. Let's see what you
Actually, when I say last night, I mean this morning, with the identical setup. I'm using a ED80 with a 0.8 focal flattener right now.
I'm going to shut it down and join the meeting.
Okay.
I got that this morning. Went to bed at 5:30 a.m. Slept for a long time. Woke up, did a quick process on it, and that prompted me to want to do the Western Vail tonight.
So I still see, I think your screen is still on your camera.
Hold on.
Just glad to know it's not just me. I struggle with all of it.
And here it is. Yeah. And you're just seeing like one star in there.
We can see the veil on your screen there.
Oh,
There it is.
that's what the veil looks like.
Oh.
There it is.
That's beautiful. That's great. Look at that.
What's that shot with, Astro?
Amazing.
An Explore Scientific ED80 carbon fiber.
But the camera?
A ZWO 183 cooled.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much the entry level for cooled cameras.
Is there any filters or anything involved?
Yes, I am using a Optilong L Enhance, also a Teleview 0.8x flattener reducer, and that's an hour worth of subs.
If you ever want to use the L Extreme, just let me know, and I can send you one to try out.
That's really cool. I'm actually looking for the L Pro right now because that's the hole.
Yeah.
That's the hole in my slot right now. I need something I can use on Galaxies.
Yeah, makes sense.
I appreciate that though. Very cool. Very cool.
That's amazing.
Find the stop sharing button, and we'll do the other one later when the time comes.
All right. Okay. That's great. That's great. And let's jump to let's head north to Canada here.
Can I interrupt you real quick, Scott, one more time?
Sure.
I just sent you an email with the information for that question. And I sent it to Kent also for the answer.
Okay. All right.
All
Then
right.
we'll grab it and we'll post the question on to our chat. I'm actually having to send it to two separate chats on the Clear Sky Network. I have to jump to that one, and then we got another stream going here at the same time. So this some of the jumping back and forth, but it's all cool. It's all cool. All right, so let's do this, and we also have Rick Marshall here in Arkansas. Okay, we'll go to him next, and he's got apparently he's got Jupiter Live, so he'll share that view here. He loves doing video astronomy. But you've got the spotlight there, Steve.
Thanks, Scott. How's everyone doing tonight? Again, thanks for having me on. I'm still trying to get myself situated. Couple of rotator errors, but things are moving along. I want to share a picture from last week from the image M27, and I ended up doing over 2 nights, so last week Tuesday and Wednesday. And let me share my screen. I should really know how to do this better. Hopefully you can see that.
Excellent.
So that's a that's a composite of RGB and HA. I can't take credit for the processing. I'm so busy right now. I ended up giving the data to calibrated data to a buddy of mine, and he's an excellent astrophotographer, and he did the actual processing for me. It probably doesn't look all that great across the Zoom call, so I'm enjoying this great picture in all its glory right now. But I'm not sure if it comes across. You can see some of the dust around.
Oh yeah, you can see some of the nebulosity around it.
Okay, good.
Zoom up on it a little bit, Steve.
Yeah.
Pixel peepers come into play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That might overcome
Very
some
nice
of the
job.
zoom limits.
So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, and considering all the guiding issues and crappy sky that we had last week. The humidity up here has been extremely high. So at night, there's a lot of humidity in the air, and then any light pollution just lights up the entire sky, and it becomes very difficult to cut through it. But for an RGB image, it's actually pretty good. Quite happy with that.
It is pretty nice.
Yeah. So that's that was the extent of my work from last week. So tonight I'm going after the bubble with some narrowband imaging, and I've done it before in the past, but now I've kind of improved my technique. I want to see what I can do with it again, and then I'll go from there. I've got a little presentation, but I'll take care of that later on. And then this weekend, traditionally this weekend is Starfest, which is the largest star party in Canada.
Right.
But because of the current situation that we're all in, they elected to cancel Starfest. But there's also government regulations and restrictions on right now as well. So my friends and I are actually going up to the same campground. Some of them are there now. We're going up there this weekend, and we can set up our telescopes at least 6 feet apart and still image nicely. So I'm looking forward to that this weekend. The weather is starting to look good. They're changing the forecast every day. So I'm looking forward to getting through those darker skies once again, and then I can actually try my new rig out under some good dark skies. So I'm quite excited about that.
Awesome. Wonderful. Okay. All right. Let's
Hey, Scott.
Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt, but Kent's in the waiting room. I guess he's
let's make him wait.
okay.
Sweet image. All right, we're letting him in. That's great. So we've got Rick Marshall here. Rick is here in Arkansas. So before it clouds over, Rick, we do want to see what you got going on in the telescope. So welcome to the Virtual Star Party 3.
Yeah. Thank you. Can you hear me okay, Scott?
We can hear you. Yeah, video's a little jerky, but that's okay.
Well, that's okay. We'll switch over to something a little brighter here. So what I'm going to show you here is a live video astronomy shot. I have a Celestron 9¼ Evolution SCT, and I have, instead of an eyepiece, I have a camera in it, as most of your astrophotographers know. The difference is I'm not doing any stacking or anything. So this is a live image. Can you all see?
Oh,
yeah, this is a real live image. And so I have I think an IMX 157, I think is the chip in in this one, it's a little bullet camera, so it's it's not very much bigger than an eyepiece itself, and it goes right in there. So over here in my settings, you might see here over an exposure time I have, and I can actually do some cool little annotation here. I'm currently running at 30 milliseconds. So what you're seeing is an exposure of Jupiter at 30 milliseconds. You can barely see some moons here. So you've got Ganymede here. You've got Io here. And what I can do is I can bump up this exposure real quick. And let me bump this up to let's say 75 milliseconds. And Jupiter will get washed out, but you can see them the moons much more clear. It looks like I'm a little out of, and I might be a little bit out of focus here, but I think this over here is Europa over here. And then Callisto is the one that's up just a little bit off the plane of these. Now, if I were to, let's say, capture video to try to create an image, I might even take this a little further down than 30 because I would be doing a lot of stacking. But you can distinctly see the different bands just with this. And you can see the great red spot right where my little hand is, right in there, barely.
Right.
I guess the other thing I would add too is I have no filters on this. So normally I would probably put a UV IR cut filter to get a little bit of the IR cutting, to get some of the atmospheric disturbance of the shorter wavelengths light off of that. So that would cut down a little bit of the disturbance and crispen it up a bit.
And where are you exactly at, Rick?
I'm in my driveway in Springdale, Arkansas, probably about a 10-minute drive from the Explore Scientific headquarters.
Yeah, right here. Right here. That's cool. That's cool.
Yep, and I actually have quite a bit of light pollution to my south. We have a pretty major, that main drag through the city, as you would call it, is to my south. But so I have to use a lot of filters when I'm doing. So you can see my tracking's not perfect because we're scooting off to the left a little bit here, but it's I haven't done any polar alignment. Got a 2-star alignment going on, so nothing super fancy. But one of the things I really like about video astronomy is, I could just walk over and just pop over to Saturn next and start looking at Saturn, and pop over and maybe change things around a little bit and jump to a deep sky object or something like that. Although with this scope, I often will switch to a hyperstar configuration for little fainter fuzzies that are smaller.
Sure.
Hey, Rick, we've had star parties together where you've had Jupiter projected on the wall at a state park, a wall of a building at like 2 feet, and it stole the show from everybody else. Yep.
I actually, since this is just the video feed off of my computer, I can send it to a projector, and we hung basically a big sheet on the side of a building and projected Jupiter. So it's about 2 feet wide, not a lot of great detail, but the public loved it. And, one of the things I'll just mention real quick with doing video astronomy like this at public outreach events is, you can get a whole bunch of people looking around, looking at your table, looking at the monitor. They're not in a line. They're not touching the scope. They're not bumping it. And also people who, have disabilities. If someone's in a wheelchair, they can roll right up and see it there, where they might not be able to look through, an eyepiece and all that, or
even during the time of social distancing where, maybe you have people out with you, but they can be far enough apart to be safe and really enjoy the sky. So that's really cool. Excellent.
Yeah, I'll do Facebook Live and things like that, and just put it out there for people to see cool stuff.
Wonderful. All right, so I'd like to jump back to Dustin here for a moment. I have been in awe, really, of a lot of the things that Dustin has done with educational outreach, supporting things like the Clear Skies Network. He did back-to-back Star Party nights, for I don't know how long, and he's still going strong. What drives you, Dustin, to do all this stuff?
This, man, exactly what we're doing now. I tell people this all the time, and it sounds like a punchline or like a slogan, but I know that you all get it, because look at what you're doing with your free time right now, right? You don't have to be doing
we love this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so I tell people all the time, I work with all of my heroes. And so I just keep pushing this stuff out and trying to drive it forward, because I feel like finding this perspective. I mean, I went through 4 years of philosophy school, right? And then changed directions and went through biology and chemistry, and then did kinesiology, and then planetary science in grad school. And I feel like the whole time, all I needed to do instead was just buy a telescope. It gives you more perspective instantly. Like, I totally understand what Henry David Thoreau said, where he was like, I went into the woods for 10 minutes and learned more than I did in 4 years at Harvard. Right. It's like, I totally understand that, because there are some things in life that are just an instant perspective shift. And I think that more so than anything else, astronomy carries that weight. Like, you can look through a telescope. I looked through a poorly collimated telescope I bought on Craigslist with an eyepiece that was probably meant for something that came from Costco. And I absolutely, I was blown away, knocked backwards seeing the moon for the first time. And I wish I could go back now and see what that actually looked like, because now that looked through nice telescopes and all this stuff, I wish I could go back and see, but I just remember that feeling. And it's the same exact feeling that you get every time you start watching your countdown timer on your imaging system, count down to 98%, 99%. Then you see the image pop up. Every time I'm just like, how is this real? How is this what we do? We're the only humans in all of human history to be able to say that this is something we are doing for fun. Ever.
That's true.
Ever. We're exploring the universe in high resolution, right? For the first time ever as a hobby. Yeah. And we're seeing things that no other living generations had ever even known existed, and it's like, it's new information that there are even other galaxies out there. This is all relatively new information. And then you guys are posting live streams of Jupiter. Like, what the hell has happened? So it's like, when it's like, why are we doing this? How could we not be doing this? How could we not be sharing this? This is the perspective that I feel like we need. This is a unifying experience. And there are a limited number of things out there that can bring people together the way that walking outside, being in awe of something that is so grand can do. And I think that we are all like, we have that, we know that information. And when you fall in love with something, you just want to share it. Right. And that's what we do. So we share it.
So tell us a little bit. Last weekend, you were on with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson flanked by two of my great friends, Dustin Gibson and Abigail Bolenbach. Okay. And I was just loving that. Okay. What was it? What was that like for you? I mean, to have deGrasse Tyson there. I mean, that's like that's big time. It's like having Carl Sagan there, right?
Yeah, he's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I sent him a really nice note afterwards. I just told him, I said, look, I know, the guy gets paid huge money to go do talks and everything, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to do these things. Right. And he does it because he is one of us. I can tell you that, like, he really is one of us. Mm-hmm. And he is interested in growing the community and using his celebrity to lift his people, right? Astronomy lovers and people that have tuned in to this idea that there's something bigger than us and that it's worth understanding from whatever perspective you come from. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. And it's one of the things I really love and respect about him is that it's like, it doesn't matter where you came from as long as this moves you. And I don't know, I don't trust somebody that it doesn't, right? First off, if you meet somebody and you're like, hey, go outside in the dark sky, look up and tell me what you feel. And they're like, it was all right. I'm like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you at all. You're not in my circle of friends. Right. But I feel like this is the community he is supporting. And for him to give his time, same thing, that whole group, the people he's with, like Bill Nye, Bill Nye does an event with us every year under the space shuttle in LA. And that whole circle of friends that they kind of have, I feel like they're doing this because for all the right reasons, and that they truly want to use their time, their celebrity, like everything, the infrastructure they've developed to lift the community wherever that is. And wherever they can reach in to do that, they do it. And they do it just out of a genuine interest in supporting that community. And I really respect that because, I mean, I can tell you as a business owner, I mean, Scott, you get this. There's never enough time in the day to do the things you need to do ever. Right. And somebody that is dependent, their time is actually their money, like Neil. I mean, when they are doing that at their cost. And so to do something at your own cost, I feel like I don't respect anything more than people that are willing to do that. They set aside their individual needs and aspirations to say, this is about you and I'm going to lift you up. And he talked to everybody on the panel and found something to bring up. And I'm just like, this guy is someone that we should celebritize. This is the type of person I want to see on TV. I want to see grow, and I'm proud of everything he's doing. And I think that, I'm proud that Clear Skies Network can be a part of it.
And that's reflected in you too. You're doing exactly the same thing. And, you could be doing lots of things. Okay. But, I know that you love this. I know that, I know it's enriching and, but you like everyone else here that's on right now is doing things for the right reasons. So I'm really pleased to have you on. It's great, and you sharing Clear Skies Network with us is also really amazing. So thank you. That's great.
No, absolutely. And I think that that's what this is about, man. Look, I mean, this is a small industry, so we can all be competitive if we want to and pretend that there's this big war going on, or we can just embrace the fact that this is a small industry. This is a unique perspective and one that we should share and embrace instead cooperation. And I think that we found after the Cold War, even that it's a hell of a lot better to embrace cooperation over competition, especially when space is involved.
Always. Yep. Awesome. Okay. Let's jump back down south and talk to Cesar Brolo in Argentina. Cesar.
Hi, Scott. Hi, everybody.
All right. We have the spotlight on you.
Today we was lucky here because we have a mostly cloudy night. I put a small telescope in middle of the city where I live. Of course, that one of my I don't know in English, when you have a mission, one of my mission is encourage the people to take pictures or use the telescope everywhere. In the middle, some people told me, oh, I don't use my telescope because I live in Buenos Aires. Okay, Buenos Aires it's a nightmare. But maybe when I listen, Rodrigo Zaleda tell me, come on, 4 or 5. Come on, here we have 9, 10. I don't know.
Right.
I send you a picture to your the white sky with the clouds.
Blown out sky.
Sure. Yes. But today, many people told me, okay, I can see anything. Okay, put your cell phone, your smartphone, put your reflex camera. Many people have a reflex camera and don't know that can make with a telescope pictures in middle of the city. And sometimes maybe the best eyepiece in the city sometimes is a cell phone that make some type of that can make you can regulate the ISO or the exposition. On, of course, I'm considered more a reflex camera. Sometimes a reflex camera that is today is cheap, and you can the people can recuperate, can get use again their telescope in the terrace of their home in middle of the city. And sometimes it's a campaign that maybe I don't thought that today I am in the middle of this campaign, because I sell telescopes, and I can believe sometimes when, okay, for me maybe I prefer sometimes we don't be more interested only in the commercial part. If not, I am a part of this. Come on, when you sell the same that you love, you participate with the people in another dimension where you say, come on, do you use your telescope? No. Why? It's something that I can't take distance from the things that I sell. This is interesting, because sometimes the people say, okay, I sell this to these weird people that love the sky. I don't know. No, the problem is that I am the weird people.
Yes.
And of course that is very interesting how we encouraging people from in the last 5 years to use their telescopes in middle of the city. The people is going to take pictures every time much better, using some type of filters or processing the pictures. Do you have a lot of different tools to save a picture from maybe in mortal 7, 8, or 9 skies?
Yes. And so there's no reason to stop imaging just because you have light pollution, right?
Absolutely, exactly.
Lots of skills to learn. And when you do finally get out to under darker skies, it's all the better. You're a much better astronomer. So
yes,
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Cesar. So thank you. We are going to jump to Gary Palmer in the UK.
Hey Scott, hey everybody.
Hey, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
What time is it there?
It's 4 a.m.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's going to be a late one tonight.
Yeah. Gary does some amazing imaging. He is someone that teaches people astrophotography. He teaches them all aspects of astronomy. He loves it. And, whether he's doing solar or deep sky, he always pushes the envelope, so under skies that are compromising most of the time because of the clouds in the UK.
It's been really challenging the last 3 months. It's just an odd night here or there. The last week has just been really humid, thunderstorms. Even with the solar, it's really struggling to get even a glimpse through the clouds at the moment. So, but we push along, we get along. So we were sort of running through on what we were going to do for this, because it's going to be cloudy tonight. So what I thought I would look at is condensing about 4 hours into 10 minutes for how we do some processing in PixInfo. So if I share the screen up, and it should be there. Okay, and then if we bring PixInsight up.
Now, you're going to crush 4 hours of training into 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is going to be tough.
You guys better take notes.
You just recorded at this point.
Right.
the first point is where we load the images into the system. So we open up our batch processor, or you've got other options in here. But for this particular one, we're just going to use the batch processor. Now I'm going to run through this really quickly. So we load all of our lights into here. This is with a one-shot color camera. It's the ZW094 Pro, so it's a full frame camera. And then we had our flats in, our darks in, and our biases in. Now, with me, I've actually got masters. Hang on a second. Click the wrong one there. I've got masters here. So I've actually ticked down here that I'm using masters for the calibration frames. We also need to look at the current. This is really important. This is where a lot of people trip up when we need to debug the image in PixInsight. It's all down to the software itself in the way that it writes the fix file. So if it writes the fix file from the top down, which a lot of the modern software does, ZWO software does, and quite a lot does, then we need to have this box checked. Yeah, if it writes from the bottom up, yeah, like these were captured in SharpCat, then it needs to be unchecked. And the Bayer changes. Yeah, so if we were going from the top down, we would be using the standard RGGB. In a sense, we're reversing this now. So we're going GBRG because we're reading from the bottom up and we're unchecking that box. Now, I'm not going to run this because this actually takes 2 hours to process this lot because there's so much information in there. So we're going to cancel out that for the minute. Once it is run, we end up with this screen here. That's the image, yeah, as it comes in. So what we need to do, our next thing would be our dynamic background extraction. So this is really our processing. So all of our processes that are used with this image to get it through to its final. So we can open up the dialog box for it. And we're already selected on there, and we can select generate. Now, depending on the settings here, and we're not going to have enough time in 10 minutes to go through all of these settings, but if anybody wants any of this information, then just message me and I'll pass the information over to you. One of the key things when we're putting in any of these markers is to keep them away from the edge of the galaxy. And the reason for that is because we will end up with a dark trough right around the edge of the galaxy if we get in too close. So if we end up with markers in here where there's really nebulosity part of the galaxy, we need to be stepping away. And the same on the smaller galaxies here. We need to keep these away. But you do need to fill the screen up with these. Yeah, and get them right into the corners. Change any of the settings here. So if we just quickly change that one there to 1.50. There we go. And then we generate. You'll see that we get a lot more. So if we now change that to 15, generate again. You see that we can add more in there, but you quite often by doing this, you've got a lot more to move out of the field of view. What this dynamic background extraction does is it removes and calibrates the background of the image. So we're going to cancel out of that because we've already done it. And here's one I did earlier. And we're in a state at the moment where the image is not stretched. So that's what we get to when the background neutralization is done, dynamic background extraction is done. Our next process, just to check that it's done, is the background neutralization. So we run through that, and then our next process would be color calibration. There's a couple of ways of doing color calibration. It depends on really the cameras and the telescopes that you're using. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I personally use the color calibration on this one, but you can use photometric color calibration. And that takes data from the internet. It also needs the data of your equipment. So you need the focal length of the telescope and the pixel size in the camera for that to be able to work. Just close that. There we go. After the color calibration is done, we readjust the screen again.
Wow.
We're starting to, so what this has done is this is gradually calibrating it to roughly around the correct colors. Noise reduction. If we go right into the image and we look in the background, let's that one a bit. There we go. We look in here, we see all sorts of noise going on in the background. There's a couple of ways. You can either use a wavelets noise reduction, or you can use the multi-scale linear transform. I use that with a mask. You can make a simple mask for this. Plenty of information on how to do this online. And then that would reduce the noise down. So we're on to the next stage. And that's it. So our mask stretch. Now, when we stretch the image, we can do it with a histogram. Seem to be getting a few boxes in the way there. Let's have that one down there. There we go. So we can do a general stretch with a histogram in a normal way by stretching and resetting. But what we're trying to do here is not overcook the stars. The telescope it was taken on was an 11-inch riser, so it's f2.2. And what you'll find is that the cores of the stars are going to be very, very bright. So there is a system on here that you can just use a reference box in the background, and it uses a preset brightness to bring the image up to. And that's just using the mask stretch system. It's really straightforward to use. And then once we've got to that point, our image is stretched. So that's it. It looks a little bit dull at the moment, but that again is because we're trying to keep these stars back before we do anything. Now, some processes on here are external. One of the most popular ones at the moment is a piece of software called StarNet for removing the stars. So if we remove the stars, we can work on the background image. And if we start up StarNet, what you really need to do with this, before you remove the stars, is create a star mask so we can put the stars back in. So we actually have already done that. Wrong one. It's the clone one there. Moving everything around. That one. So this is the stars removed from the image, and we're just keeping that in the background at the moment because we're going to go back to that and reintroduce those stars. And the image will look like that.
Wow.
So we've still got a few of the brighter points in there, and we need to go through those. Yeah, so on that, we just use the clone tool, and we clone these stars out. So we cloned most of those out, and then we can do some other things. We can work on the color. We can use different processes to bring in more color, and also to work on the galaxy itself. So we could use something like the HDR multi-scale transform that will bring in more detail in the galaxy itself. And gradually, as we're running through, then we can start to bring in a little bit more color into it. Put a little bit of vignetting down the bottom there. That's really down to the size of the sensor that we were using on the telescope. And run all the way through. And that's really where it gets to. We've cropped it down a fraction there to remove some of the vignetting. Anything else is done in Photoshop. So when we get into Photoshop, that's the mono version that came out of Photoshop.
That's incredible.
And that's the color version.
Wow.
So that's really it. It's really it's a lot of playing around.
I need to put that on my wall. That's awesome. That's awesome. So did everybody get that? You know, because he's not going to repeat.
Yeah.
You just have to watch this episode 3 or 4 times. You have to watch the episode.
Gary, there was a question out there that somebody wanted to know what was your scope, imaging train? What did you use?
Yeah, it was the ZW-094 Pro camera. I think that's superseded now. The new one's coming in this week. I think it's the 2400. Yeah, which is the latest, one of the latest full frame cameras. The Celestron Raza 11-inch,
Okay.
So that's about f2.2. And then there was 230 30-second shots for that, and about 30 darts, 30 flats. And I did use bias on that, yeah, with that particular camera.
So a little bit of work on that. A little bit of work.
Yeah, yeah. It did have a couple of runs at me processing it to try and get it. The main thing was trying to keep some detail in the stars, and also the riser picks up the cables because the camera's mounted on the front. So you will, even if you put an S in the cables and you play around with them, yeah, if they're really bright stars, they pick up the edges of the cables. So that can give you the donut effect where you end up with quite really, it looks like an overexposed star. And you can play around. I mean, you could come in at 10 seconds and maybe do a star field with it, but on that particular night, there wasn't the time. And that was actually a test shot. That was the thing about the second shot there out of the riser. So, yeah, pretty impressive.
Excellent. Well, Dave Ng, how are you doing out there in Temecula, California?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks.
Thank you, Gary. That's awesome.
I was afraid that it might start to rain on me, and there was a threat of some thunder showers and lightning, but it's starting to clear up. There's still a lot of clouds out, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get anything.
Okay.
But I'm going to try. I did want to share some pictures I have previously taken, if that's okay.
Sure, absolutely.
They are nothing like Gary's, so
it's hard to beat Gary's shots.
Let me see if I can pop one open here.
Yeah, but it's fun to try.
Yeah.
Well, that's what drives you. It's just the perfection. You're striving towards a better and better outcome every time you go out.
Right. Now, while Dave gets that ready, I'm going to show the door prize number 2. Okay, so door prize number 2. Let me just kind of hold it up to the camera so everybody can see it. And here it is. It's an Explore Scientific 20 millimeter 100-degree eyepiece. This is a really beautiful eyepiece for looking at wide field views of the Milky Way, your favorite nebula. Orion looks incredible through an eyepiece like this, and it just gives you a great, spectacular view. I think it's one of my
this work in the middle of the city too.
It worked good in the city. Yeah.
Yes.
So that is door prize number 2, and so we're going to challenge Jerry after. We'll come back to Jerry after Dave. With his questions. So here we go. We're back to Dave now.
Okay, let me share my desktop.
Okay.
And share. Okay, can you see my desktop?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this
beautiful galaxy.
This image is the fireworks galaxy. I did it actually around the 4th of July, and I purposely oversaturated it, so I didn't get too much grief. But I just kind of wanted to have a little fun with it for the 4th of July. So
oh no, Dave. Dustin Gibson approves the 9,000 level of saturation. Approves.
Yes.
This is true. This is definitely true. It's a beautiful image.
Oh, thank you.
It's really pretty.
Let me see if I can get
really well guided. Looks very decent here. Exciting.
I always like the when you isolate the object with a big field of stars, especially those objects that are in the Milky Way. I mean, it really puts it in perspective on how big these galaxies are, but also how small they are compared to the universe. When you have a field of view like that, compared and with a bunch of stars in them, and then the isolated galaxy, I like that a lot.
Okay, it looks like when I close that, it stopped my sharing. But let me open up another one here and see if I can share that one out. Okay. Share. All right. M51.
Yes. So when did you make this image?
I beg your pardon?
When did you do this image?
I'm not exactly sure. All of these have been done since April of this year. That's
Okay.
really when I started imaging.
Mhm.
So I've only been doing it for 4 or 5 months. So I only have like maybe 5 or 6 pictures.
So you only have 4 or 5 months of astrophotography experience right now.
Yes.
That's wow.
So this is one of my earlier ones, and you can see the egg-shaped stars in the background. But I think it's going to take a little time, but I'll get better at it.
Pretty good for that.
What equipment are you using?
Thank you. I beg your pardon?
What equipment are you using? It looks like an ED80, but
It's an ED102 Explore Scientific triplet. I'm using a Nikon DSLR, a D5300.
Nice.
And I'm using the ASI Air Pro. It's the Raspberry Pi device that has it's kind of like an all-in-one, does image capturing, guiding.
Yep. I have the same thing. I love it.
Excellent.
Let's see if I can pull up another one
When you
here.
get those stars that are very slightly off like that, if you go into Photoshop and copy the layer and select the top layer as darken, yeah, so you bring around the galaxy, you can adjust those out. Yeah, it will just take the X out of the stars. It's a real simple process. Again, you look it up online. Yeah, and if you can't find it online, just send me a message and I'll send you a link on it.
Okay, thanks. Am I still sharing? It says my screen sharing is paused.
No, you're still sharing.
Still sharing. I can unshare you if you'd
Oh, I
like.
see. No, I wanted to show this other one. Oops.
Okay.
No, there it is. M81, M82. That's another one of my first images.
Oh yeah, not bad. Beautiful.
Thanks. And then the last one you saw last week already was M13. This is my latest one. And let's see if I can zoom in a little bit.
Now you did the SIM13 from the Virtual Star Party 1, correct?
Yes. Yeah, that's when I captured it and processed it and shared it out last week.
We're not seeing it right now, Dave.
Okay, let me see if I can
share the other one. I think you have-
resume. Kill that. Sure. Is it there now?
Yes.
Yeah, the colors are
There now.
really nice. Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Good. You can just see the propeller in there as well.
Yeah, I was looking for it. I don't know what it looks
Right
like.
in the center of the image. If you look right in the middle of the image, just
Right
that's
where
it.
your mouth is.
Okay.
2 lines there.
Yeah.
And just a little bit more exposure on that, and you'd see the full propeller.
Okay, thank you, Gary, for telling me that, because I heard that today somewhere at work at Explore Scientific, and I had no idea what the heck anybody was talking about.
Yeah, you do get a full propeller. There are 3 dials that run right across the center there.
Yeah.
So they are quite
right
hard
there.
to bring out with the rest of the stars. Sometimes you can overexpose it quite easy.
Well, I can kind of see it slightly in the image. I mean, it's very faint, but I can see it now.
The center is in the upper left, right up from the center. The center of the propeller is right there, and then you can see the spokes coming off, the propeller blades.
That's incredible.
Cool.
That's cool.
So tonight, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to catch anything. It's still kind of cloudy. I can see some stars, but I did a shot. That's all I have for right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's, Jerry, do we have question number 2?
Yeah, what's the size of the eyepiece again?
It's a 20 millimeter, 100 degree apparent.
Good
field.
eyepiece.
Okay. So 100 degree. So the question is going to deal with the math problems that we talked about before in previous shows. When we gave eyepiece away, what is the true field of view of that eyepiece, the 100 degree, 20 millimeter, when used with the 102 FCD 100 scope?
And again, email your answers to Kent at explorescientific.com. And no matter where you are in the world, we'll send the eyepiece to you if you win.
So the first person that gets the correct answer and the timestamp on the email is who wins. So again, the question is, with the 100-degree field of view 20-millimeter eyepiece, what is the true field of view when using that eyepiece with a 102 FCD 100 apo refractor?
Excellent. Okay. All right. So we've made some, we've gone around to almost everybody here. We have not talked to Tyler and Kent here. They, of course, they have both been on our shows on the Open Go To Community Live programs. Tyler's relatively new. So let's put the spotlight on you, Tyler. Let's talk about Tyler's universe here.
Right now it's just I'm literally in my kitchen for Kent to order me a mount so I can actually start imaging again. I don't know when that's going to happen.
It's hard to get equipment right now, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. It's extremely hard.
A lot of people go buy telescope gear.
Yeah, they definitely do. But since my time working with Explore Scientific, I've seen tremendous amount of respect that these people have for our particular company and just in general. And there's so many people that will just reach out to just get the answers that they need. And it's humbling to me that I can actually be a part of an actual company that can provide answers and give them what they need. Even though we are a small little niche of a community.
Yes.
It's humbling, as always, Dustin's always told me. It's humbling that we can provide a service to something that is beyond our imagination within the actual outside world. Because just to be able to look up and ponder the idea, is there possible extra life? Is there possible just anything out there? Because it's so vast and almost endless. It just makes you think, and it makes you very, very small. God knows how big I am, and so it's like very small.
Yeah, Tyler's a big man, but yeah, in the on universal scale, yeah, we're all we're tiny specks of dust. So
the Alice in Wonderland effect.
Yeah, that's right.
I like to look at it kind of the opposite, though. I think we're precious in the universe because we really are few and far between. I think it's thousands. I'd be surprised if we were to detect life, some kind of signal or something, that it wouldn't be thousands or hundreds of thousands or even more millions of light years away, which means that talks to how rare, sentient life would be in the universe.
Right.
But I mean, right now I'm trying to learn the mounts that Jerry and Scott have created, the IXOS 100 and the Exos 2 GT PMC8. I didn't realize that being a customer service rep, I was going to be a computer engineer, troubleshooting. I didn't realize that this is.
Scott will do that to you.
He will.
Yeah,
he will. He's like, here, go.
Yep.
Help Jerry, go.
So,
right.
I don't even work for Scott, and he hits me with those kind of questions, man.
Tyler asked me a question. I said, oh, it's easy. You just go to FTDI chipset and download the VCP and install it. And he went,
yeah, right.
Huh?
What,
what language was that?
Right. He came to me to translate a little bit too.
It's like, I don't remember computer engineer in the job description anywhere. It's like, but it's always something new. I can't complain that the job is never the same routine. It's always
But we had that issue 3 times today with VCP with 3 different customers. Yep.
Did you get the link? Did you get the link I sent you, Tyler?
I did get the link. I need to send it to the gentleman tomorrow morning when I get to the office.
Okay.
And just describe what it is. That way he can get an idea of what he's actually looking at. That way he can set it up properly. The other gentleman is about to get to my nerve.
Can't say that.
I love it, but
rewind.
It's part of it. It's part of it. It's just my brain doesn't work that way yet.
That's right.
It's a learning curve.
Well, we have a lot of industry people on today, so you know, and you know, there are times where you can get people, as they're working through things, they can test your patience and your knowledge and all of that. But it's still great because they're they're out there exploring the universe and trying to, and sometimes they run into a little bit of frustration. We got to help them through that. So
yeah, that's right.
A lot of times though, by the time they get to us, it's a wee bit more than a little frustration.
No, sometimes.
Just a wee bit.
That's right.
You have to remember.
That's all right. That's all right. We're here to help. So
and we could back them down. We could back them down off the edge and start them from square one and just step through things with them, and that calms them down typically.
Sometimes you have to remember that that their excitement and their passion is driving them to come to you to look for help, and as Jerry said, you have to have them kind of help them step back a bit and look at everything from a slightly different perspective, right? And know that it will work, and we'll get them there. And sometimes it's just that small thing that's simple to most people on this call. Click this button, install this driver. But at the end of the day, these people, these customers, right? They bought the product because they have that passion. They want to look out,
right?
And they want to enjoy and see and experience everything that we're experiencing, that we're excited about as well. So it's just having to take that approach and understand that they're excited and they really, really want to see what we're seeing. And they've probably been under a blanket of clouds for a week. And
yeah, that's right. As soon as they buy something from one of these, one of our dealers here, it's the clouds start ticking, so.
And we all know it's their own fault because they've bought the equipment and they have the clouds because that's what we sell, cloud magnets.
Right.
Yeah.
People just don't want to accept that.
Open the box and it unleashes a bunch of clouds. That's how it all works. So that's how it all works.
It really does.
Yep. So Dustin, is it you got clouds out there as well, or what's the situation out in your? Because you have 3 observatories or something out in the desert there.
Yeah, we have 4 that we operate on the desert. 3 of them are public, and then we have 1 out in Texas. Coronavirus hit, so I shipped a big ME2, a software BISC ME2 out to Texas. Literally 2 days later, so I scheduled our tech to run out there to do an install of a 24-inch telescope, and our 2 days later, coronavirus hits.
Oh,
so at the time we were like, all right, so this will be a couple weeks, maybe.
Yeah,
and then we went out there and this will blow over, no big deal. Here we are, still. I have all this equipment sitting in Texas, hasn't been used, and I'm dying inside. I'm broken because it's like those are the best skies, man. Those West Texas skies. I know, Scott, you've been there many times, man, but it's just like when you're in West Texas, you're in a different world.
Oh, that's true.
You look up and it's like the Milky Way cast your shadow on the ground. It's so dark. And to have this equipment sitting out there, it's heartbreaking. But yes, we have these observatories set up for public use, and we are expanding the project. And one thing that coronavirus has done, because it hasn't done much, I try to find the silver lining wherever you can, because it's been so terrible for the world. Is it gave us time as a community to do a lot of things. One of those things is to develop this project a bit. And so Jenny and I have finally been able to sit down and plan some of the, how do we get this public outreach thing really going? And, where are we going to put our next observatories? And so we've been able to scout out some land and different plots around the world, so that we have, the next few spots already lined up, and we can continue the project. But our goal is obviously to, build, I say obviously, I mean, I talk about it all the time in the podcast, but I guess if you haven't been there, then you might not know. But we are trying to build observatories around the entire world where we can just give away access to telescopes for free, 62 observatories in total. And, the whole idea is just, it's crazy that, we're this advanced. We can land people on the moon, but still people don't have access to telescopes. I mean, I was 27 years old before anybody started talking about telescopes. It was only when I moved out of Alabama, and I love Alabama, but I can tell you through all of my schooling, even through Auburn University, I never heard somebody say the word telescope. Not one time.
Not even once.
Yeah, it's like, so I never looked through one ever. And I'm sure that they have, actually, I know they have observatories.
They got at least one in Bama, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, most of the astronauts come from Auburn, right? But it's like, but it was just not part of conversation. And so I felt like, man, it is time to do something about it. And I'm so fortunate that I know most of you have met Jenny, but Jenny is just like, she is the most aggressive person for solving problems I've ever met in my life. And so I go to her with something and I'm like, hey, there's still globally no way for people that don't have a way, like money or a way to invest in this hobby, or they just don't have access to people that know to access this stuff. Jenny's just like, do it. I don't care what, like, figure it out. I don't care what it takes. We are solving this problem. And I absolutely love having a partner like that, because it's just like, this is a problem we're solving. This is something that people should have access to. And Scott, man, let me give you a quick shout out, because you're the host here and it's your job to interview everybody else and keep everybody else talking. But let me tell you something about Scott that you guys don't see, that happens behind the scenes. I will call Scott and tell him some of my crazy ideas. And this is going to embarrass Scott, but it's true. He's one of the most humble people I know. And I love you for that, Scott. But I will call Scott and ask him for really expensive stuff to just give away to people that have had hardships, or to help people in the community that I feel like otherwise will not have opportunity, or to advance the outreach opportunities. I have never once in 5 years had Scott tell me no. One time in 5 years, and I do this regularly, guys. I bet Scott, I bet you've contributed $20,000 to these efforts of your own money, man. And I appreciate you so much for that, because not many people would do that. And it's such a huge thing. And you are not only giving up your time, but you're giving up your money. You're giving up your efforts and things that you could otherwise be doing to advance your company. And, you know, at OPT, we feel like this is something worth doing. We know you share that vision. It probably came from OPT, right? I'm going to brag on that, because you were at OPT a long time.
I mean, all the whole genesis of how to, to care for the customers that actually give you a living,
Yeah, absolutely.
And make your livelihood possible. Okay. And to let your dreams come true, it did start at OPT.
Yeah, well, I want to say sincerely, thank you for what you're doing for the community, because more happens behind the scenes than does in front of the camera. And the stuff that happens behind the scenes, I can absolutely tell you guys with sincerity that Scott is one of the leaders in the industry in helping make sure that people have opportunities and access to the universe. And that is why we do these partnerships. That is what we're about. 100%. We are trying to force that stuff into existence. And Scott, man, you're making it possible. Thank you.
Well, now I can't say anything. Thank you very much. That's very, very kind. But, we all do this and we all love it, whether we're able to give telescopes or give our time or to, to give the lectures and all the stuff that, if I took all the effort and brain power and everything that's just right here on this particular star party, it would light up the universe. So it's really cool. And thank you very much, Dustin. That's awesome.
No, absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. That's great.
Hey, Scott.
Okay. So let's jump back to Chile. Okay. Rodrigo, we stopped you in the middle of your presentation. And so I'm going to let you show some more of that presentation. Show us some more of your southern sky treasures here.
It's good. I'm one picture for the southern sky, the running chicken nebula.
The running chicken nebula. Okay.
Yes. I shot it
I've never heard of this one.
Okay.
That would go great here.
I feel like you might have made this one up.
Excellent.
Okay.
Oh, I see it.
I can see it.
This is the running chicken nebula. It's,
That's pretty cool.
This star is Lambda Centauri.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This nebula is in the end of the summer in Chile. Wonderful. Yes. This picture is take with a Explore Scientific 4-inch upper refractor. 2 hours exposition with DSLR camera. It's a nice nebula. And
yeah, we have people apparently watching in Australia, and they say that they're talking about this running chicken nebula too. So
yes, it's nice.
It's incredible. We have a worldwide audience tonight, so it's great to have you all watching with us. That's a beautiful shot, Rodrigo.
And the last imagine is the Dumbbell Nebula.
Dumbbell.
The Dumbbell.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize the dumbbell was visible from both hemispheres.
Yes.
Wow.
In Chile is more for the north. Is low to the horizon.
Dustin, you're going to have to go down there and visit CTIO and Vicuña and La Serena. It's really very, very nice. Very nice, super dark skies. And Rodrigo and all of his astronomy friends down there are very, very spoiled with some of the most incredible skies in the world. So,
Rodrigo, what is your latitude? What is your latitude?
29.
Minus 29.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. It's 29 so. And I see the Andromeda galaxy low to the horizons. And in La Serena and in my regions is the many professional observatory.
Yes.
The Brollo, La Silla, Gemini, Campanas. In the city, I rules for the light pollution for in this area. If I go out to the city about 15 minutes, the sky is dark.
Yeah, very dark.
Very dark. And every day,
not like Buenos Aires.
But in the cities, a little city, our light is down, not to the sky.
You protect your observatories.
Yes.
You have good lighting laws. That's excellent.
Yes.
That's excellent. And in your area is a lot of astrotourism. And so many people come down there, many amateur astronomers come and spend a week or two doing astronomy, and they have many observatories for amateur astronomers to get access to.
Yes, in the Elqui Valley, in Vicuña, Paiwan, Pisco Elqui, another town, the Astro Tour is very, very important activity.
Very strong, very strong. Vicuña is a beautiful town for any astronomer to visit. When you go there, on the walls, they have these stone walls, and there are giant astronomical murals. They're all over this beautiful city. Even the restaurants They have a special, maybe some sculpture or something that comes from the restaurant, some sort of thing, but it's all astronomically themed. And it's just, it's an astronomy wonderland, this little town called Vicuña,
Yes.
which is just at the foot of Cerro Tololo Inter-American Observatory. So that complex that's up there.
Yes,
You can also
yes,
get
yes.
tours to go to CTIO and really just see what dark skies are really all about. The views of the large and small Magellanic Clouds when I was there, I mean, knocked me out. I was amazed, you know, so a dream come true, really. Okay, thank you very much, Rodrigo. That's incredible. All right. And so next, let's go back down to Argentina, where we can talk to Cesar. So Cesar, I would like for you to talk a little bit about your astronomy outreach activities in Argentina and
Yes.
the challenge of, you have a big eclipse coming up in December.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
And here in the middle of a pandemic as well, which is a problem. And so let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we think that we are hope that we will open for business in December. Just today, the government say that the summer time is coming like a official thing, because few days ago we don't talk about the summer here. The summer, like you know, for tourism or. And fortunately today the government say that okay, we will have in Argentina a summer time open for business, for tourism, and of course that we will make all in few time, but of course that when this will happen officially, not only if you know that maybe you listen in the news, more officially we can start to work in the way more efficiently and more fast that we can go, because we have a short time to make all possible. To fortunately we like I tell you 2 months ago that we continue we was talking with people of the organization where we choose the place where we can make the observation, where we can go to the conference in the city of we choose the side, the seaside of the Patagonia, near to the Atlantic Ocean, a city that the name is Las Grutas. And I can show you, if you don't have a map in your computer, I can show you in a map where it is, if you like.
Share your screen and
yes.
Pone todo, sí. Share.
Sure, and
Y te mando el PPT por mail.
Ok. Te voy a abrir un mapa simplemente de.
¿Lo hicieron?
No.
Maps.
Yes, I'm talking with my son. So what do you need? A map.
Yes.
Simply a map. Yes.
It's okay.
Yes. Wow. This is Buenos Aires.
Okay.
We can go to the south. This is all province of Buenos Aires. We need to go to this area because you have, in this line, you have the Eclipse. And here in Las Grutas.
Oh, wow.
Is where, yes. All of this is the desert.
It's right on the center line, it looks like.
Yeah, yes. I tell you that this is like a very dry area. It's near to desert, like the Sea of Cortez area, you know. And here you have a big, no, a big city, sorry, a small town where, but it's a very, very nice place with a lot of complex hotels.
Yes.
It's a small city, a beach city, and we are choosing a place that the name is Valcheta here, only for the day of observation, only for the eclipse. Yes, in the middle, not in the middle, it's only 200 kilometers, maybe 150 miles. And you know, if you live in Texas or in Patagonia, when you talk about maybe 500 miles, you say, okay, no problem. I can go. Yeah, here, yes, right. In Argentina, is maybe Rodrigo in Chile too, because you have a very long distance, and the people say, okay, we say, es ahí nomás. We say it's very just close. Very close, and you say,
not too bad.
How many? No, yes. The people in Argentina is normal, but the people in Patagonia, for the people in Patagonia, they say maybe 300 miles. They say, okay, we can go.
We can go.
3 hours. Okay. Yes.
It's not like the people live in the Bronx of New York, and they, you know, it's too far to go to Manhattan, you know, so. Right?
No, yes, and this is. I remember that I went to a safari in I was in my vacations in Key Largo in 1999 in United States, and I go in the same day. For me, was normal. I say, okay, I go to this in the same day to Atlanta, Georgia. You say, and some people say, do you know the distance? Yes, well, I don't remember now. Is it maybe 660? Okay, 660, maybe it's 1,000 kilometers. It's nothing, right. It's okay. Well, this is the problem that we have with this, that we choose in Las Grutas, you can see the eclipse. This is the path of totality, but the organization maybe are choosing Valcheta only for observation. But okay, let's go, no problem. And we return to the Las Grutas in the same day, maybe it's 2 hours, it's not more than this. But the people that can choose Las Grutas to watch the eclipse, no problem, because this area is all in the path of totality.
I see. Wow.
Yes, and this is how you can see. You can choose another places in the mountains, but we think that that in Las Grutas, sorry, normally you have an excellent weather in summer, in December, very dry, very clear skies. And you have an eclipse that you have over your head, and it's amazing. It will be if the eclipse in Chile or San Juan in the west of Argentina or in Chile was amazing because it was over the horizon, and you mix with the landscape, the eclipses. This for people that don't see an eclipse over in the top of the. I think that the eclipse in the top of the sky, it will be amazing because all in the entire landscape is dark, and you know, well, of course that we hope that we can say, okay, people come to Argentina, came to North Patagonia in December. We are waiting you. We are hope.
Yeah, we hope. We all hope.
Okay.
We all hope. Yes, if you have not seen a total eclipse of the sun, you need to do it at least once in your life because it will absolutely it will absolutely change your life. So yes, it will.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah. How many eclipses have you seen so far, Cesar?
No, the San Juan was the first one in the eclipse that was visible from Buenos Aires to San Juan in the west, or you go to Chile.
Yeah.
And you went to Chile, sorry. And yes, and for me was the same, was the first one. The annular, the ring eclipse was the first really in Patagonia too, but the difference between a ring one or
total
annular is okay, no? It's in English, annular eclipse.
Annulars,
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Annular, yes, annular eclipse. It was the first. The second one, the total was, this one for us was in the San Juan province. Yeah. And this will be the next one, the second one, the total.
That'll be great.
It's I think some people tell me, okay, is the same, go to the totality, or maybe I can see from Buenos Aires. Come on. Or people, come on.
That's right.
No, yes.
Right.
Or people say, okay, how it's okay at only 10 kilometers is the same? No. It's not the same.
It's night and
the difference
day.
between
there
all
are people. It's amazing. It's amazing how many people will think seeing a partial eclipse is good enough. Okay, and it's not. I mean, a total.
No, it's not.
A total eclipse.
It's not. Yeah, sure.
It changes you inside. It's amazing. It really is.
I describe it as the difference. 99% totality is ice water, and totality is boiling water. It's that much of a difference. I mean,
I love this comparison. Yes, it's real. Yes,
it's that different, and it's just like that when it happens. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
So let's go back and see what the Astro Beard is doing.
All right. This is the Astro Beard.
Yes. That's right.
Yes, I like to
come up
see
with the
again.
Astro Beard. Anyways, what was the inspiration for Astro?
Well, the beard's been around for a long time, and my old handle was Redbeard, and figured that I needed to change something up and went with that.
Yeah, that's a good one, though. That's good.
Let's see here. I'm going to share a screen again.
All right.
Hold on. I got to bring the thing up. This one.
Now, somebody's already asking me, what is question number 3?
Is there a third prize? I got to come up with another
question?
question?
I'll come up with a third prize here in a minute.
Okay, you guys got that?
Yep. Beautiful.
My
Here we go. Hey, Scott, Rick got kicked out. He's in the waiting room.
Is he?
That was my M27 from last week's Star Party.
Oh, nice.
And I think the most amazing part about that is I got 9 90-second subs. So 13 and a half minutes.
Oh,
right.
It was
beautiful.
In and
very
out,
nice.
But I'll take it. I mean, I figured it out. I went through it. I'm at the end of 8 of almost 9 months in now. So I'm very happy to be showing this kind of work. My
only 9 months of experience. That's incredible. Really.
Yeah, and that was like using a cell phone through a Dob with like I had my first German equatorial mount. It didn't even come with a polar scope, so you just look through the hole, you know what I mean? And it was like, oh yeah, I see Polaris through the hole, sweet. Like, you know, we're gonna track good,
right?
You know, so we've definitely changed quite a great deal of things. I'm gonna unshare.
That's how much the technology and the information has grown over the last 10 years. When I got into it, it took me a good year to even point my telescope where I wanted it to point.
YouTube
with doing asteroids. Yeah, with doing asteroids, you know, I worked quite a bit. It took me almost a year before I was able to capture reliably and track some asteroids and do some measurements. That's and I was working it every, you know, probably 30 hours a week.
Right on.
It was another full-time job. That's I wrote 2 books about it, and I just jumped in it with both feet. But it's much easier now, I think, than it's ever been. As frustrating as it can be, 10 years ago, there was very much.
Oh, it was very tough. It was. Yeah.
Hey, Scott, Rick says he has Saturn up.
Does he really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, Rick, let's
I got to go
and
do a meridian
have a
flipping.
look. See, okay. You got the spotlight, Rick. And you are muted. You are still muted. You are still muted.
That's the hardest part of all of this.
Scott, can you unmute him?
I don't. Let's see.
Saying he's not connected to audio.
Oh, you're not connected to audio. That's cool. Just pantomime it then. Okay. Just pantomime it and let's see Saturn. Yeah, there we go. It's got rings. That's right. So here we go. We're going to let's see. There we go. Oh, there it is. Ah, perfect. I have a few clouds coming in. But video can
it's the best.
Push through them. Oh,
There it is.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
Yes, they can. That's right. So what is your exposure time right now? 120 milliseconds, it looks like. Okay.
That's a pretty big time investment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Saturn's worth it. 120 milliseconds.
What?
It's asking a lot.
It is asking a lot. That's right.
We know, Dustin, you're not a big planetary guy.
That's a long exposure,
Yeah. That's
right. And it's the scene has degraded from when he was looking at Jupiter. Jupiter was fairly still, but
yeah,
Saturn's bouncing around a little bit.
This is the stuff I'm talking about. How is this possible that we're seeing this stuff live?
Yeah.
Live.
Once in a while, you get a little glimpse of Enki's division, or Cassini's division, not Enki's division.
Yeah, not Enki.
Not Enki. There it is. You can see it just a little bit. Yeah, there it is.
I love the miming.
Saturn's a tough one because it's really dim compared to Jupiter. It can be tough, but with the processing software we have today, it's pretty amazing with all the detail you can pull out of these videos.
Yes, he's, sitting there looking at it, I was just noticing, and he typed it. The cloud filter, he's got just enough of that thin haze.
Yeah.
And it's toning it down, and it's actually helping the image every once in a while because you can see the clouds like he was writing. And there's a thick cloud coming by.
All right. That's cool. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. Here we go. That's awesome. All right.
Hey, Scott, I'd like to share some pictures. It's,
okay.
Observatory is not up and running since it's cloudy here, but
that.
I've got some images of the moon.
Yeah.
It's deep sky, all these deep sky astrophotographers. My first love was lunar imaging. And I want to just suggest that even if you're a deep sky diehard, you should, to get your skills broader, just go ahead and observe the moon a little bit. It doesn't hurt. I know you curse it because it's so bright, but that's my pitch for lunar imaging. I'm actually an assistant coordinator for the Association of Lunar and Planetary Observers. I'm an assistant coordinator for lunar studies there, and so I'm gonna put in a couple of my 2 cents worth on that. Let me share my screen.
I was wondering where that was coming from, Jerry. I was like, this sounds like a public service announcement.
Yeah,
I'm not sure who is sponsoring this.
Yeah,
and then he's like, I'm paid by the moon.
That's right. It's
brought to you by the moon.
That's right, the moon. So yeah, exactly. So
He was doing his news announcer voice today on the show. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Brought to you by the moon.
That's right.
all right. So I don't know if y'all noticed or not. I flashed up there for a second by mistake the answer to the question.
What's that?
But somebody's probably already answered it.
I'm telling you, one question needs to be, how many tabs does Jerry have open in his?
Yeah, a bazillion.
Right.
That just needs to be a question.
God.
Yeah. So let me let's see.
There is no math that can calculate that.
So this is and the hardest part is trying to figure out which tab is what, and I'm looking at. So this is the Association of Lunar and Planetary Observers website. Okay.
That's right.
And I asked
lunar stuff here.
Oh man, there's all the planetary and lunar stuff you could imagine. And I'm a member of the staff in the lunar section, and there's a lot of neat tools that are available for doing lunar imaging and analysis. I'm kind of a science guy and observing. I'm not so much a pretty picture guy, but even with the moon, you can do a lot of analysis to determine how high the terrain is on the moon, different mountains and things like that. And I've got a few pictures to kind of demonstrate that. I'm gonna so here's a picture I took. This was back in 2011.
Scott Eden says he must have a petabyte of RAM.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that's where everybody's comments go. Is what kind of computer?
Right. And Wade Prunty wants to know how long Jerry's smoke detector battery's been dead. No, Wade, you're now starting to blank it out. Okay, it's still happening right now.
I don't hear it anymore. I've toned it out.
So here's an example. Here's an example of the measurements I took on Clavius.
Wow. Now, what's the smallest feature on this?
The smallest crater you can see here is probably about 3 miles, about 5 kilometers, maybe.
So the tiniest little dot is about 3 miles across.
So like around, well, you can either detect craters or you can actually see them. So you've got little blemishes like this. We'll see where my cursor is. I don't know how clear that is, but that's a hint of a crater. And then you can actually see a crater like here.
Yeah.
You can start to see, you can have a little hint of a crater there. So that's around 3 miles,
Clavius J is 12 kilometers in diameter.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's
12 miles. Okay.
Kilometers, 12K.
12 kilometers. That's
8 miles.
8 miles. Yeah.
Just
That's
in
pretty
round
small.
numbers.
So that's one image I want to share. I'm using a tool called the Lunar Terminator Visualization Tool, which is a measurement tool. Here's another of a crater called Schiller. My taskbar at the top for the why isn't that coming up? I can't get my magnification thing to come up. There it comes. All right. I don't have any measurements on there, but this is another way you can use the LTVT tool to change your perspective and rotate the image or transform the image so that it looks like you're directly overhead of the crater. If you're familiar with this crater, it's on the lower. If you look at the moon, it's on the lower left side of the moon, and it's distorted very heavily. But you can see here the way the program has stretched it so that it looks like this is what it would look like if we were flying straight overhead of this crater.
Wow.
It's 179 by 71K.
Okay, cool. So that's
Now, why is it? I mean, this long. I mean, did this asteroid come in kind of
sideways
and like bash into it and scrape?
Well, it has to be very shallow angle because the impact studies they've done at NASA and other places is even with a shallow angle, like let's say a asteroid or a meteor is coming in at like a 25 or 30 degree angle to the horizon, it still creates round craters. It has to be very, very shallow, like 5 to 10 degrees or less to
almost a glancing,
like a grazing, yes.
Glancing blow.
Right.
Well, what about these lines to the right of the crater here that you got in the box? These they look like rivers or something, you know?
Oh, this is Necker. These are rills. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, those
kind of look like river beds.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are called rills. Those are lava tubes. They're actually kind of like rivers in the fact that they were
they're lava tubes.
They're lava tubes, right, that have collapsed.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And so lava gets ejected when crater impact happens, and then it impacts the crust, and then it wells up underneath and comes out and creates these lava tubes and these rills. But you can see on this image, I measured this crater Necker and tried to measure the rim height to the floor, basically based on the shadow. And you can see this is around 700 to 800 meters high is how high this rim is on the crater.
Did you make up that name, Necker?
Did I make it up? No. I guess I'm pronouncing it correctly. I don't know. That's the thing about astronomy names. If you don't talk to people about the names, you don't know what they're pronounced like.
That's true. That's true.
So this is a tool.
I had an Arabian correctly pronounce all the Arabic names of the stars for me. It sounded nothing like what we say here in the United States. So
right. So you can see that the sun is very shallow. It's very low on the horizon here. You got these long shadows for these mountain peaks here.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that, like this one up here, these couple up here, you can see the profile of the mountain right here. Wow. It's kind of cool.
It is very
and cool. At that point, that altitude at this part of this ridge is about 910 meters high. That's the measurement. And this one's 817 meters. So it's neat that you can do this kind of work with the photographs you can take from your backyard. I've got one other lunar image that I want to share that I took with the at the Mark Slade Remote Observatory with the 165 refractor that we have, the FPL 53. Now it's set up for deep sky work. It's got a 0.9 by 1.2 degree field of view. Okay. So it's basically, that's how big this field of view is in this image right here. It's 1.2 by 0.9. But I do these full disk images of the moon, but I want to show you what kind of resolution we can get.
So somebody's asking, so do you have to have the Terminator in the frame for it to work?
For what to work?
To get those profiles of the shadows.
Yeah, you really want to have good shadows to be able to do the measurements. That's right. A full moon is not the best time to try to do these kind of measurements. Near the Terminator is the best location. So, for example, let me show you. This is a full size. This is a full disk image, right, from our observatory. It's not set up for lunar or planetary imaging. This crater right here is 5 miles in diameter.
Wow.
That's the resolution you can get.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell that's a crater.
Yeah. So you can see features that are like this mountain. See that little hill right there?
Yeah.
That's about half that size, or maybe 3 miles. Yeah. And you can see these little hills right here.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So when people ask, can you see the flag on the moon with the telescope? I guess the answer is no.
You got to really avert the vision, man.
That's right. But so that gives you an example of what you can even do with just normal field of views on a telescope. If you know how to process the images,
sure,
you can pull out all that detail.
You know, people don't realize how far away the moon is that ask that question about the flag.
Yeah.
You know, they just think
Yeah.
The
it's
flag is 225,000 miles away.
The most typical question. Yes.
yeah, they don't realize it's 1.3 light seconds away. You know, I mean, it's you say it in miles, it's not that much, but when you say it's more than a light second away, you know, I'll use that at star parties, and people just sort of go, "Wow, I never thought about it that way," and it adds depth by talking in light seconds as opposed to miles.
Right. So here's another blow up of this image I took. It's another full disk image of Rupi's recta. You can see the straight wall. This crater's
Wow.
divot. I call it the bit. I don't know how you
The
pronounce
bit.
it. It's 4 miles. And then this one, which
3
is not
miles.
quite as 3 miles, right? And then you can see the straight wall, and you can see some other details there. But this is zoomed up quite a bit and processed. But again, that's from a full disk, more than a full disk image. That's not even. This is like a picture you might take with by pointing your phone into a normal small telescope, right? That field of view.
That's right.
So Jerry, why do you take full disk images as opposed to cranking
Doing
up a
video, doing
165? Well, or cranking
Yeah.
up a 165 and getting, going super long focal length and zooming in on the craters.
Because of the work we do at the observatory, we have the deep sky camera set up, and it's a little bit of work to switch out to the video camera. We've got a high-speed video camera that we do and put on a 3 times power mate or a teleextender, or a 5 times teleextender, depending on what the sky. But I guess what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that this telescope is near perfect. If you could pull out, this is nearly diffraction limited imaging here.
Yeah.
So let me see what else I've got. There's another example.
So these
Oh.
exposures are how long typically?
Well, what I do is I kind of cheat. I for typically when you do lunar and planetary, you take video like what we saw earlier, what Rick was doing. But these were taken with a astro camera at like 1 or 2 milliseconds. I don't know if I list what the exposure time was. It's 1 or 2 milliseconds images that I stack. I take, and it takes like a half an hour to an hour to take a bunch of images because it's so slow getting this image data over. It's not like a video. It's really slow. So it takes like a half an hour to get like 500 frames that I then stack like you do with a video, except you're doing with these frames. And from that, I can pull out all this detail. So just to zoom in on this one real quick, this has got a couple of neat features. The Aristarchus Plateau, which is really cool. Aristarchus is the brightest when it's illuminated near the full moon. It's the brightest crater on the moon, basically.
Hey
And
guys,
this image was taken early in the morning.
Hey guys, we've got to cut somebody. A couple people have gone into the waiting room, so I'm going to drop off and go into that.
Okay.
See y'all.
All right.
All right, thanks. So that's the last thing I'd like to say is just take a look at the moon every once in a while with your telescope. There's a lot to see. It's not as static as the shadows change all the time. You can do things with the shadows with your images that really you can learn a lot about the moon. And look at the Alpo website too. It's oops, what the heck was that? I don't know why that's going there. Try it again.
I'm just putting up, someone asked, if one of our spacecraft had photographic evidence of our landings on the moon. And I just put up links
Oh, yeah.
link from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, where you could actually see the footpath of where one of the astronauts had walked on the moon. It's pretty amazing.
Oh,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
you know, so and any doubters out there can look at that, and then they can ask Buzz Aldrin, you know, if he actually went to the moon. So
right.
Accuse him that he didn't go, and then he'll probably punch you out. But you know,
He'll punch you in. Yeah.
We would.
The nerve of that reporter.
No, he did actually hit a guy one time, but that guy really pushed him. So that's when Buzz Aldrin went from being like legendary superhero to like God to me, you know. So anyhow, okay. So let's let Steve. Do you got more to share with us here? Mr. Malia.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? There we go. Oh shoot. I couldn't have done that. Oh. Yeah.
Well, Steve, you're in Toronto, right? You live in
I am. And I want to show what I've been imaging right now. And I'm gonna have to call it a night for me. I've had a very, very long day.
Yeah, I can see your bloodshot eyes from here. So.
Yeah, listening to Cesar talk about short drive distances of 300 or 400 kilometers. I logged 900 today in a little road trip I had to take last minute. So
okay,
I'm done.
Yes.
But I want to show what I've been doing. Let me just get my screen working here. I have to remote into my other machine. I ran into a problem last week with my imaging, and I figured out what it was. It was Zoom that was dragging everything down, so I know what not to do now. But hopefully you can see my screen.
That's not you up there on that rock wall, is it?
No,
I thought it was you, Scott.
Definitely not. Okay, so I have been imaging the bubble for past about 10:30 my time, so a couple of hours.
So that's tonight. Okay,
that's tonight. It's right now. That was image that just came down off the camera. And we're doing 10-minute exposures. I've got a Starlight Express 694 Pro, fantastic camera. And bubble's positioned nicely, and I'll be on it all night. And then should be clear tomorrow, and I'll probably do some more work on it tomorrow as well.
Yeah, you're welcome. You know, come on the show tomorrow at on the Open Go To community show, and you can share it. So
sure, yeah, or next week for next.
Or next week, yeah. Once you get out of your coma, yes.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And Steve, I know you got to bail after this, but hey, I just wanted to say thank you for everything you're doing in Canada and for bringing this stuff to the community. It really is huge and so important. And I think, you're doing a great job. We very much appreciate it. And, thank you for sharing this on Clear Skies Network as well. It's anything we can do at OPT to support you, we are 100% in. And if you need anything at all, give me a call. We're happy to help with anything we can.
Appreciate that, Dustin. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you very much. Everyone, it's good to see you this evening. Scott, thanks again for having me on. Clear skies, everyone.
And maple syrup, Steve.
No. That's all mine. I keep that for myself.
All right.
That's like currency up here.
It is currency. That's right. It's like Bitcoin. Bitcoin for Canadians.
Yeah. The thing is that maple syrup is probably worth a little bit more than Bitcoin is.
Oh, I'm sure it's worth a lot more.
That's right.
Yeah, it's Canadian gold. That's right.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be back on next week, and I'll Scott, I'll give you a call tomorrow about tomorrow's Open Go To.
Okay, sounds real good, man. Take care.
Everyone.
Enjoy. Have a good night. Thanks for
Steve.
your.
See you later. Good to see you, Gary.
Yeah.
And you.
Hey Scott, this is Dave. I can share my screen. I actually
Yeah, let's have you. And there was a question too. Someone was asking they wanted you to describe your camera system that you were using again.
Okay, let's see. See if I can share my desktop on the, I'm gonna try and share my, my tablet. Let's start. Okay, there we
You
go.
can share a tablet. That's pretty cool. All right.
Okay, so this is the ASI Air application.
Okay.
And right now, I did a preview. Well, let me go through the different screens real quick. I won't take up too much time. The top one is the guiding. Right now, it looks like it's doing about 1.3 seconds. So it's not too bad for my mount. I'm gonna click on that, and we can actually see the star that it's selected, the graph down there, all of the corrections that it's trying to make as it's guiding. Go back. I can hide that. Let me hide the histogram. This is a 2-minute preview shot. And this is the witch's broom, I think. I think it's the same one that Rich is doing, NGC 6960. So this is just a 2-minute preview. I actually haven't started capturing any data yet. But I just kind of wanted to show that since I actually was able to get it before the clouds start rolling in.
I know, and Dave has like a giant street light out there. He's surrounded with lights, and yet he's getting this faint nebulosity. And this goes back to what Cesar Brolo was saying, that even if you're in the city, you should be imaging and imaging often. If you're an astrophotographer.
Yeah. Right now, I am using a filter, an Optilong L Enhance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that helps. You said somebody had a question about the camera?
Yeah, they just wanted to know which camera you are using.
Oh, it's the Nikon D5300. And it's unmodified.
Wow. Very
stock camera. So
a regular camera.
Yeah. Yep, regular camera.
Yeah.
So with this application, we can actually go ahead and create an auto run session. I can tell it how many lights I want, how long the lights I want. If I'm using a mono camera, I can do the binning. Let's see what else. There is an option for Meridian Flip. I haven't used it yet, so I don't know if it works. I've heard positive and negative things about it. I can shut down the SI Air and have the mount go to the home position at the end of my session if I want to do that. I can also do darks, flats, biases, and all of that's configurable in this screen. If I configure all of those, then I just go ahead and start my auto run session. But, oops, let me go back here.
We have someone commenting from Honduras, and she says we have to visit La Serena in Chile, Valdivia, and Viña del Mar. I'm sure that exploring the stars in there will be wonderful, in addition to enjoying its beautiful beaches and its colonial cities given on Easter Island with everything and its mysteries. Yes, that sounds awesome.
Hey, Scott, has Dusty Haskins shown up in the waiting room?
Has Dusty Haskins shown up in the waiting room? I do not see anybody waiting. No.
Maybe he'll pop back into my room then. Okay.
Well, I'm taking up 2 Zoom spots here, so as soon as I'm done, I'll let go of this one.
No problem.
Okay, so there's also an option here to polar align. I can't really see Polaris because I have that street light behind me, so I haven't used this feature yet. There is also an option to focus.
Brett Blake says, you're a real astrophotographer when you wake up in the middle of the night, roll over and murmur Meridian Flip.
Yeah.
This does also have a small database of options, which you can type in a name and go to. So if I wanted to go to this one, for example, I just select it. It gives me a little information on it. And choose it. And then I can hit go to here. It's highlighted in green. I'm not going to do that because I'm already on where I want to be. The other feature I was showing at our first star party was And I did this here, that bright star, which I think is 52 Cygni, if I'm
okay.
I'm not sure if I'm correct on that one, but it
Yeah,
was
it
in the
is.
center of my screen. So I kind of wanted to move it over. So you can just hold down on the screen somewhere and
just move it.
Sorry, I'm in, I need to be in preview mode. Yeah, there we go. And if I just tap that go button, it'll
Yeah.
center to that area. It'll do a plate solve to make sure I'm centered there.
Wow.
That's kind of cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that right now though. But yeah, this is the, just a preview of the ASI Air application that I'm using. And you can see over here, there's also a plate solve button. So it'll take a look at that and run the plate solve.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, plate solving is awesome. It really is.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Anyway, I just wanted to give a
Awesome.
little quick demo of that.
Thank you very much, Dave. That's great.
Cool.
That's great. Okay, so we have a little treat here. I promised artwork, poetry, astrophotography, talks, everything during our star party. And we had a global star party tonight. But Carlos Hernandez is a space artist. And so he provided us with some of his artworks. And so I'm going to just run this little medley of Carlos's space art from Space Places here. Some incredible space art. It's really great. So that was just a real quick run
That's pretty
through
good.
some of his images there.
Yeah.
But we've had a nice night here. Gary, do you still have some more to share with us out there?
Yeah, that's right. While Jerry was on the moon, I thought we would just very, very quickly show how we can process this. So, right, just checking that's already in there. So let me share the screen for a second.
Okay.
There we go. So if I bring up now, this is another image off of the Galileo telescope. The little
the Galileo.
Wow.
What?
That's
This
cool.
is the Galileo scope that you won. All right,
Yeah.
so that's going to be the next door prize. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to do a Galileo
Galileo scope
and
and the Explore Scientific 7MP camera. Yeah.
right.
So what we need to do is, because the camera records in RAW, we need to get out a true color in there. Yeah, so we can see some of the mineral colors in there. So the first thing, you can do this really quickly, split the image into its RGB channels, and you'll notice that the blue is quite dark. And then we've got the green, and the red's a little bit darker. And because we've got 2 green pixels for every red and blue one,
Okay.
and we get a oversaturation of green. Really is the easiest way of putting it. So we can use a simple thinning pix insert called linear fit, and we can put the green as the reference, and then we just drop that onto the blue, drop that onto the red, so that we're all matching, and then we combine the images back up again. So channel combination.
Now, the Galileo scope is a telescope kit. Okay. It was a International Year of Astronomy cornerstone project back in 2009.
Hey, Scott, I got one.
And you got one, right?
Yeah.
So this is what he's imaging through, folks.
So what we're going to do now is just bring some colour in. We've balanced the colour. Yeah, we're just going to bring some colour in. So we use the curves transformation, but we select saturation. And then in our live preview, we just start to bring some colour in. There we go.
Yeah.
Just making PixInsight look simple.
Yeah.
It is.
An impossible feat.
I mean,
wow, look at this.
You like color saturation, so there you go.
Wow, I don't think that the guys who invented the Galileo scope ever envisioned that you would be doing astrophotography with one. That is really that's a great image. It is. I need that for the box. This is what you'll get with your Galileo. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, folks.
All you have to do is overcome the learning curve of PixInsight.
They used to do that. They used to do that in the 70s with deep sky objects on these scopes, didn't they?
Dustin, I got a question for you here. John Perez-Chile is asking, I got a Celestron 9¼ edge HD telescope. What is the best deep space camera for this OTA?
You broke up.
I have one of this. Yeah.
Depends
Something
on the reducer on it. If you've got the 6.3 reducer on it, or did he say edge?
Yeah, he says a 9¼ edge HD. What's the
edge? It'd be the point.
Yes. Something
got,
maybe. I'm sorry. Something maybe with a not so small pixel size. I use it I use it my Celestron 9¼ with a APS reflex regular camera, but I don't know, maybe an SWO, who is the best model. But I had the same telescope.
You got that telescope. Mm-hmm.
Oh, a lot of time in my 30 years of
It's funny. It's funny because these are the types of questions. So we have something called OPT University, where our staff has to attend every single day for half an hour to come in and learn, the intricacies of imaging and just astronomy in general, or even physics. And, these are the kind of case situations where we test them, which is like, okay, this scope, what type of camera works with this situation? And so it's interesting because this is the stuff that always comes up. It's like, that's the thing about astronomy is whatever you change, anytime you change one component, you have to consider the rest of the pieces and how they're still going to work, whether it's the mount or the telescope, the camera, even the guiding, like everything goes into it. So it's funny that this came up because, we literally have to,
Sure.
talk about
don't
this.
exist the right camera for the right telescope, but maybe first of all, you can think in a sequence where you have maybe around 12 megapixels is the right number, but the industry of the sensors maybe sometimes you have a lot of megapixels and maybe you have a small size of pixels size that you don't need, maybe because you have an iridescent that have more diameter than your pixel size. It's an optics,
right.
Yes, a physics optics problem.
Yeah, often for deep sky, you want larger pixels that are more sensitive rather than necessarily a smaller or a larger number of pixels. I will say I also own the telescope. I bought a Hyperstar, and that's a lens assembly that goes in place of the secondary mirror. And what that allows me to do is get a f ratio of about 2.3 on that telescope. I can run a narrowband hydrogen alpha filter with a relatively short exposure on that telescope. And I don't have that on an EQ mount or anything. It's an alt-az mount. And I still at f2, at f2.3 can get enough light in that I can take, relatively short exposures with that. And so but also think about the camera size when you're putting it in where the secondary is. If you don't want a DSLR because it's too heavy. So you're going to want to go with a lighter, a smaller astronomy telescope or astronomy camera instead of like a DSLR, because you're still putting that up there at that, front assembly where the glass and everything is.
You're running mono. You specifically wanting to run mono?
Sure.
I've seen.
Go ahead.
I have seen some gentlemen run a 1600 GT as for his Hyperstar. He's either going to be Rasa or a 900.
Yes.
1600 GT is square, so you'll end up with the points running off. So you would be better with the standard 1600.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like the 1600 Pro.
Yep. Brett's coming in here with rapid fire. He wants to know CCD or CMOS.
Depends on what your mirror image.
Yeah.
They've both got their edges. They're both as good as each other in this day and age.
But
Another
CMOS
question.
has come a long way.
That's true. That's true. Does binning really solve the small pixel lack of sensitivity?
No. Nobody really does binning anymore, to be honest. It's an old school thing. With all of the modern cameras, even with cameras sort of 3 or 4 years old, there's not a lot of people that are binning. It just doesn't work out worth it. In modern software, it's just so easy to process these days.
Yeah.
And the cameras are so sensitive. Yeah.
Right.
So that picture Gary took was with this telescope.
I know. Can you show that image one more time, Gary? You were.
I can take this thing apart.
Well, I could take all of our telescopes apart.
Not as fast. Not as
These are all
fast.
telescope kits. That is an amazing, stunning image with a $50 telescope kit.
I've almost got it apart already.
You repolish the lenses or something, or
Yeah, don't you realize you got about $100,000 worth of experience going into that?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Hey, Kent, we still got to do our experiment with a Camry and one of the National Geographic scopes.
yeah. So go ahead and I have now taken it apart. Here's the guts of this telescope. Scott, share that.
Yeah. Okay. Here, let's get
Okay.
some
So
spotlight
this is-
going on here. Here we are.
This is the telescope he used to take that picture. And here's the eyepiece.
I don't think he used an eyepiece.
Yeah, but this is the eyepiece that comes apart into 4 little lenses, and that's it. That's all there is to this telescope.
Yeah.
And that's what I used to take that picture of the moon.
But this special telescope that took that incredible 6-figure image is the next door prize. And so, Jerry, do you got a good question? Jerry, do you got a great question for us?
I'm thinking about asking Gary for a question since he's the one that's done this work.
All right, Gary, you got to come up with a question. We rarely let people outside the office here ask these questions. So
name the 4 terrestrial planets.
Ooh, there we go. Name the 4 terrestrial planets. Be the first one to send that answer to Kent at explorescientific.com and win a remarkable and amazing astrographic system, the Galileo scope.
Not pre-assembled.
Yeah, that's right. Not pre-assembled. If you want pre-assembled, it's going to cost you another $100.
That's the level of craftsmanship that goes into our build.
Right. That's right. So, gentlemen, it's we're coming up on 11:41 here in Arkansas. That means it's a couple hours later here for Cesar. It's getting late for him, I know. Cesar, do you have any more to add before we let you head off for bed here?
Yeah, sorry, I don't understand. I don't understand the last that you told me.
No, yeah, I was just wanting to know if you have anything more to share. It's getting late for you. It's getting
yes,
late.
I have some pictures that we take here.
Okay.
We have something like, or we can talk about some adventure here that we make that like we talk in the last. Let me check. I'll share. Share. Okay.
Ah.
Yes. Sorry. This is where I live.
This is Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires. Yes. I have a place that is very good to make astrophotography in the middle of the city because the place is very high. We have the roof in the same building at 120 meters over the level of the sea, and we are in an area where we are out of the first layer of contamination, of light pollution, sorry. And sorry, okay, here. And it's nice to make some pictures that are easy for us in middle of the city to make a better works. Of course that I'm not all time I make pictures in the middle of the city, but well, you know, this is another thing that we make in our laboratory. We are all time disassembling, like Kent a few minutes ago, telescopes.
Every telescope is a kit telescope. Yes.
Yeah, yes. And I am like a kid in, you know, because I love my work. This is our facilities to disassembly and repair all type of telescopes. One of the most typical things are change the position of the mirror for many Newtonian telescopes that are not designed with the back focus to use CCD cameras and reflex camera, and we need to change the position because we don't like cut the tube.
Yeah.
And of course that we change the position of the mirror back, forward, sometimes 24, well, around 1 inches. Because it's normally is the difference of size that you need to change when you use a Newtonian, the typical Newtonian of the commercial telescopes. Not all Newtonians are with this problem. The 130 of the first light don't have this problem, I think. I never try. But I think that is okay. The back focus is work properly for visual and photography position. When we can check this, maybe in the next first light.
We need to check that and see. That'll be a good marketing tool.
But yes, I think that work properly because it's different. The first light is different to another Newtonian in the industry in the same 5 inches diameter. I think that maybe Kent, you told me that is because it's shorter the F. I'm sorry, okay.
We have to, we're weighing one tomorrow. Somebody asked us how much one weighs and I couldn't find it. So we're going to pull one and weigh it, and I'll do some measuring tomorrow just to see.
Yes, it's not 5, the F number. If not, it's 4.5.
Right.
It's different, yes. And this is another adventure that we make in Argentina. We make domes and aluminum domes for observatories.
Yes.
And this is one of the domes that we make for a tower, for a hotel in Bariloche. It's a ski resort, a ski center, and we put 11 inches Schmidt Cassegrain, and we make and designed the aluminum dome. The problem in this area is that they have a very, very strong winds, and okay, well, and we have a showroom full of telescope, not now, but this is at the beginning of this year, and we have empty again, and we will fill our showroom in our company maybe at the end of the year.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's
wonderful. I look forward to getting down there sometime. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Now we did have winners to announce. After you're done here, we're going to announce winners of last week's door prizes. So that's always fun.
Cool.
It's a spectacular showroom, Cesar.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I'm trying to ensuring the, okay. Stop share. Okay.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's not easy to have something like this in Argentina. We are a company with the company is very old. It's a family business, and the area, telescope area, have today 30 years old. I started this area in this company
today.
From today 30 years old.
Oh,
wow!
I was young. I was young when I started.
Congratulations! Yeah,
that's huge. Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, it's awesome.
Okay, so let's thank you very much. So we're going to announce the winners of last week's Star Party, Virtual Star Party 2, and we gave away eyepieces. And so for question number 1, and I forget what the question was, but John Johnson won his 52-degree eyepiece of choice. The question is not here, but the answer is latitude.
Oh, what is related to altitude? What is related to the altitude of the North Celestial Pole?
Yeah, you have to guess what the question is. It's like
guess the question game.
That's right. Jennifer Shelley won the 82-degree eyepiece of choice. And the answer was M27, probably the discovery date of discovery year of 1764. Jason Genzel, the vast reaches, he was a winner, 82-degree eyepiece of choice. And he correctly answered the distance to the dumbbell, which was 1,227 light years. And Jennifer Shelley won again, okay, by answering correctly. And she won a 100-degree, 20-millimeter eyepiece, and it was about ghosting from a previous image. Do you recall what that question was about, Jerry?
Yeah, that was about the RBI, the residual bulk image problem.
There we go. There we go. So we will.
I'm sure Gary's very familiar with the RBI problem with CCDs.
Right. We will answer the or give the winners of at Virtual Star Party 4 next Tuesday night. So, you know, we're wishing all of you guys good luck in answering those questions from today's Star Party.
I've just looked out the door. It's daylight here.
What's that?
Venus. It's perfectly daylight here.
Oh my goodness. So you're going to get the solar telescope out and start making some...
Yeah, I think give it an hour or so and might
all right. All right. So I did want to talk to you a little bit, Gary. You are going to be heading up or helping us coordinate the European version of this virtual star party. So we have a date selected for the 28th of this month. And that would happen, I think, approximately about 5 p.m. Central Time here, which will put it at 10. Is that right? About 10 o'clock?
The normal show is 4 p.m., isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, so that would 5 p.m. would be 11 p.m.
And would it be dark by that time?
Yeah, it's dark at 10 now.
At 10, okay. So we can start at 4. So that would be great. That'd be great. So if any of you are listening in Europe and want to participate in the Virtual Star Party European edition, it'll be our first one. We'll do it on the 28th of this month, and looking forward to hosting that star party. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting. Really good.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. So let's come back to Astro Beard and find out what's happening over there. And
thank you. See, not honestly too awful much here. I mean, I'm still grabbing off subs here on the Western Vail. It's good to see others doing that. I got to give a little credit because while doing all my YouTube learning, I saw Trevor Jones, the Astro Backyard, do the Eastern Vail, and it was kind of a little mind-blowing for me. So I've always
Jones
wanted to
does an
shoot
amazing
that.
job with his shows. I really admire that guy's work. So
I mean, him and, you know, Dylan and Chuck, and I mean, all the smaller guys, I mean, all of them, I watch them all because you can learn more from watching more people than you can from watching one or two. And,
That's true.
You know, everybody's mistakes, the newer guys, everything. And I love the hobby, just got sucked in, you know, fully, and I'm enjoying doing it, and hopefully showing some new subs, some new images next week, assuming that we're going to be same time, same place. And I love the community, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it as much as possible. That's pretty much all I got. I'll give it back to you guys so you can get on with the show.
All right. Sounds great. So what else is happening out there? You got any images, any more live images coming through?
Actually, Scott, I just finished stacking my Jupiter, so I could certainly show a stacked version of that. Here, let me just pull it up super quick. I used, okay, let me get my screen shared. And screen 2 here. So I didn't do anything too awful fancy here. Let me open up the actual image that is the final image here. Just a second. And that's the sky. And actually, I think I saved it in yesterday's. But this is the stacked image with Registrax 6. Old version.
I don't think you're shared right now.
Oh, am I not shared? Oh,
no.
I got it here. Oh, here, let me hit it. Here we go. I bet it's doing it now.
Oh, wow.
Excellent.
So, yep, and that's with some wavelets in there to pull out some detail and things like that. So, you know, I think I grabbed, I can't remember exactly how many frames, about 300 megabyte video, and yeah, it just ran it through Registrax real quick, and
beautiful.
Yeah. So, even though it's,
I mean, that's fun.
Again,
that is really fun. That's great.
Yeah. And that's the great thing is you can do the observing part live and just grab some video and save it for later, and then boom, do some imaging later.
Right. It looks really kind of 3D with the limb darkening and all of that,
It really does. Yeah.
Yeah. Spectacular. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott, if you could check the waiting room, I believe Dusty Haskins.
Oh, Dusty is here.
I believe he's in there now.
Now, Dusty told me he's a little bit under the weather. Dusty, how are you, man? Dusty, I think you're, there we go.
There we go.
How are you feeling? You were a little under the weather today, huh?
Still on my deathbed. I actually made my way out here. My wife kicked me out of the house because
oh, man.
Too bad, because I've been out here just laying on the ground the whole time, so it's been all right. But
yeah.
No, I figured the least I could do is at least share what I got from last week. So
yeah. So Dusty was on Virtual Star Party 2 and got and he has the coolest man cave. He really does.
That's a
tall man. Look at that.
The myth, the legend, Dusty Haskins.
That's right.
So yeah, this is what I got during the star party last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I just
congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Now, Dusty, was that with the 152 that you won?
That was with the 152 that I won. That is sitting right there.
That's right. So that was on Gibson Picks that you won that. That's great.
That's really not fair though, Dusty, to post images with a 152. Come on, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I like the telescopes he's got up there going over the door. It's kind of like swords.
Living the dream.
It's awesome.
Just living the dream, man.
He is. Astro photos over there, RTD2.
Look at that.
Everything. That one that's in the back, I actually painted that.
Oh, you painted it. Oh, you're gonna have to show more of your artwork, Dusty.
I can do that.
Yeah. Let's have some of your artwork for the next Virtual Star Party. Virtual Star Party 4.
That sounds good to me. Yeah, I figured that's the least I could do is quick hop on and at least show you what I got from last week.
Awesome.
So
that's great. Dusty, thank you very much, man. Yeah. Yeah, you're a real trooper to hang in there with us. So thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Get better. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm gonna go back to laying down.
Okay. All right. Take care. Thank you. Thank you. Well, all right. So, Rodrigo, are you have more to share with us as well?
I showed the picture of Jupiter. I take 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
Yes.
Now, how long have you been doing astrophotography?
About 20 years. About the.
You love it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You love it, and your daughters love it too.
Yes. Very, very.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see the picture?
Wow! Look at that.
That's good.
Yeah.
He's not messing around.
Oh,
that's right. He's getting serious.
Look at getting serious.
With three Barlow Explore Scientific.
Excellent.
With my little camera, Quachi 5.
Oh, the 5, the QHY 5?
Yes.
Wow, they did a nice job. Very nice job. Yeah, that little eyepiece. I mean, that camera looks like a 1.25-inch eyepiece. It's very small.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good planetary camera. Little but good camera, planetary camera. This is my picture of Jupiter.
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
lost Jerry Hubbell. Oh, it says from Jerry Hubbell to everyone. Thanks.
Okay. This is all.
It's beautiful.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Muy
Thank
buena,
you.
Rodrigo.
Okay.
All right. Well, we have people starting to drop off here a little bit as we are at the midnight hour here in Arkansas. That puts it at very late for Cesar. Although he stays up late every night.
I am in the words light.
That's right.
Okay. Yes.
That's right. That's right.
2 a.m. Okay.
Thank you, Rodrigo. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay.
All right. So Dustin, we're gonna wrap up the show with you.
No pressure.
Words of
You can handle
wisdom. Any last parting incredible astrophotos?
Let's see the saturation level here.
So no, I don't have any photo. I feel like everybody here is taking phenomenal work. There's nothing I can do to bring anything that, is on par with what everybody is doing. It's incredible work. I'm just excited to see all this, honestly. I feel like everybody's pushing the boundaries of imaging, and there are a lot of questions. So anybody that has those questions, look, I'm happy to answer them. CD versus CMOS, look, there are huge differences. There are a lot of questions about, because I'm starting to get, I see my phone blowing up with questions about binning now.
Yeah.
There are a lot of so we do two different sides of the business, guys. One is OPT consumer sales. The other is OPT pro services. All they do is the NASA JPL stuff. And I can tell you that there are still a lot of reasons that they are binning, especially with the new CMOS cameras with like 60 megapixels. It's like you can bin that down 2x2 and go to 15 megapixels and have huge pixels. So there's a lot of stuff there. If you have questions, reach out. I'm happy to answer them or kick them to the team, whatever it is. And I see that a lot of that's already happening. It looks like 15 questions already rolled in. So good. Thank you for sending them over. We'll definitely get those answered. But more than anything else, I'm just impressed. I'm impressed by everybody's work. And honestly inspired. I love doing these things because what we've created in this community is a positive feedback loop that just feeds itself. It's like I talk to Scott, and Scott is so amped every time he talks about anything we're doing. And then, obviously Rodrigo and Rick and like everybody else, everybody's so pumped about everything it is they're doing in this. And then so then in turn, I'm like, oh my God, I need to do more. Let's do more.
I need to do more.
We're going to get all this. I'm like, oh my God.
How could you do more?
Let's set up the next one. Let's do another one. Let's do something bigger. And I can tell you, we've already one-upped guests from the last thing we did, which we thought was going to be impossible. We already have gathered up guests that will be bigger than the last Neil deGrasse Tyson thing. So it's exciting. And I think we're pushing each other in the right direction, which is let's advance this community.
Yeah.
Let's build something worth building, and let's work on cooperation, not competition, and just really, really drive this thing forward. Because look at the images. Every image you guys have shared tonight, I've just been like, my God, this wasn't even possible 10 years ago.
No.
Like 10 years ago, it wasn't possible. And now you're doing it for fun.
Right.
It's crazy. So I don't know, man. I'm just excited about the whole thing. Now I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. So thank you all for that. but no, I'm just really, I mean, honestly ecstatic. I'm thrilled that this community is doing what it's doing. That Clear Skies Network, after a month of even existing, is driving this kind of community and conversation. So to all of you here in the chat tonight, thank you. If there's anything that OPT can do to drive this forward, please reach out. I'm happy to help any way I can. I know Scott feels the same way. We talk all the time, and I can tell you he feels. So, Scott, thank you for organizing this and being a part of it. Everyone else, thank you for inspiring me to do more. I promise you I will.
Likewise.
Same, Dustin. Same.
We will absolutely give it hell. I promise you, OPT is good at that. We will give it hell. We will absolutely drive this thing forward. I tell everybody all the time, we are a freight train moving forward in this industry, and you can get on board or get out of the way. But we are going forward with this direction of sharing and promoting a positive community. And so all of the old community, all of the old guard that is just, I've been doing this for 30 years, and if you don't do it my way, then you're a problem. That's gone.
That's gone.
That's gone. We are eliminating that.
That's right.
I want every kid in my neighborhood to take better images than I do. And I love that that's what this community is about, is just sharing. If you have a secret, share it with everyone.
I've seen kids do images with the observatories, and they're amazing.
Dude, we have a 12-year-old on our stream that is taking better images than I am. And like every time I see it, there's part of me that my ego's like, man, I'm really trying. I'm pushing myself, and this kid is better than me. And then I settle into the idea that's like, that's awesome. That's exactly what should happen. The coming up generation should be better than us, and it's just a testament to our efforts as a community that the young kids are even like, taking this on and wanting to pursue this. And so let's keep driving it forward as a community. Let's share every bit of information we've learned, every struggle we've had. Let's just drive this thing forward. And honestly, all of you in the chat here tonight, all of you, especially here on the video tonight, like I say all the time, you guys are the heroes. Thank you for doing what you're doing. And we will support you any way we can. So let us know if we can help. And otherwise, just keep doing what you're doing. Let's drive this thing forward.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody that was on with us tonight, and all the guys that hung out with us to the bitter end. Okay. So Rodrigo, thank you very much. Best regards to your family, and we'll be in touch with you daily almost at this point. So thank you very much. Astro Beard, Richard Grace, thanks again for being on our show and sharing your knowledge and your enthusiasm. Even as a beginner, you're doing amazing work. Rick, good Lord, it's so cool to see live video streaming, all over the world, right here through Clear Skies Network and through, our other simulcast channels that we've got going on right now. Gary Palmer is maybe in a coma right now or getting breakfast. So, but that's great. And Cesar, you look like you're as fresh as a daisy. I mean, you're not even tired. You're probably going to just stay awake all night. So that's great. Tyler, thanks a lot. Thanks for being a trooper, hanging out with us. It's really awesome. And Dave Ing, thanks again, sharing all that technology with us. So it was really great. And, as Jack Horkheimer would say, and I don't know if everybody here remembers Jack Horkheimer, but a great guy. He had a long running, I think maybe 40 or 50 year television show devoted to naked eye astronomy. And so he would always say, keep looking up. And, and that's our message. And, again, big thanks to Clear Skies Network, OPT, Gibson Picks, everyone. Thanks very much. And we will see you next Tuesday. And actually, we'll see you tomorrow on the Open Go-To community. So take care, and we'll talk to you later.